Welcome to Lotus Whisper. I invite you to find a place of stillness and let the heavy weight of the world slide from your shoulders. Tonight, we journey into a question that rests at the very heart of your existence. Who are you when you finally stop trying to be someone? We spend our entire lives building a house of mirrors, polishing our reflections to please the eyes of others. But beneath the titles, the roles, and the endless striving, there is a quiet garden that has never been touched by expectation. Join our community of seekers by subscribing to this channel, and let us walk together toward the light of your true nature. Breathe deeply now. Allow the masks to crumble. Let us discover the peace that arrives when you simply decide to be. Welcome, traveler. Tonight, we begin a journey into the quiet heart of being. We spend our lives building a house of cards, calling it ourselves, and then we tremble every time the wind blows. We are exhausted from the effort of maintaining a face, a name, and a story that never seems to be finished. We are like actors who have forgotten that the play ended hours ago, still wearing the heavy costumes and reciting lines to an empty theater. Tonight, you are invited to let the costume fall to the floor. You are invited to step out of the light and into the cool, dark silence. Let go of the need to be anything at all. Breathe in the stillness. Breathe out the burden. Let us begin. The sky above the mountain is heavy today. It is a deep, bruised purple, hanging low like a saturated sponge ready to burst. There is a restlessness in the air, a tension that makes the leaves of the bamboo grove shiver even when there is no wind. This is the atmosphere of a mind in turmoil. It is the feeling of waiting for something to happen, or perhaps the fear that something already has. You are walking along a stone path that winds upward toward the old temple of the blue cedar. Your feet feel heavy, as if the earth itself is pulling at your soles, reluctant to let you move forward. Your breath is shallow, caught in the upper part of your chest, a small bird fluttering against the bars of a cage. This is where we often find ourselves. We are caught in the grey clouds of our own making, unable to see the path ahead because we are so focused on the weight we carry. Think of the energy you expend every single day just to be someone. From the moment you wake, the mind begins its frantic work. It gathers the fragments of your identity like a weaver at a loom. It reminds you of your name, your job, your failures, and your unfinished lists. It tells you who you should be today to please the world, to satisfy your family, or to quiet the nagging voice of your own ambition. This is the heavy cloak you drape over your shoulders before you even step out of bed. It is a cloak made of iron and lead, yet we wear it so habitually that we have forgotten its weight. We think the exhaustion we feel is simply the nature of life, but it is actually the nature of the mask. As you walk this mountain path, the mist begins to swirl around your ankles. It is cold and damp, clinging to your skin. This mist represents the anxiety of the unknown. We try to map out our lives with such precision, hoping that if we can just predict every turn, we will finally be safe. But the mist does not care for maps. It obscures the view, making the familiar look strange and the near look far away. In this state of mind, every shadow looks like a predator, and every rustle of the grass sounds like a threat. The heart beats faster, not from the climb, but from the terrifying realization that we are not in control. We are trying to be the masters of a world that is inherently wild and unpredictable. Consider the story of the young monk who sat by a rushing stream, trying desperately to meditate. He wanted to be a great master. He wanted to be enlightened. He wanted to be the most disciplined student in the monastery. But every time he closed his eyes, the sound of the water distracted him. Every time a leaf fell, his mind jumped to follow it. He grew angry with himself. He tightened his posture. He gritted his teeth. He was trying so hard to be a meditator that he had forgotten how to simply be. He was fighting the stream, fighting the leaves, and fighting his own nature. He was a man trying to still the waves of a lake by hitting them with a wooden board. The more he struck the water, the more turbulent it became. You are like that monk. You are hitting the water of your own life, hoping to make it flat and calm. You are trying to force yourself into a shape that feels respectable, successful, or worthy. But who are you under all that force? Who is the person who exists when the effort stops? We are so afraid of the answer being nothing that we keep the struggle going at all costs. We would rather be a stressed, anxious someone than a peaceful, quiet no one. The clouds above you now begin to release a fine, silver rain. It does not fall in a torrent, but in a soft, persistent drizzle that blurs the edges of the world. Each drop is like a thought. One drop is a worry about tomorrow. Another drop is a regret about 10 years ago. Another is a judgment of your own character. Soon there are thousands of drops, millions of drops, and you are soaked to the bone. You feel the dampness seeping through your clothes, reaching your skin, chilling your spirit. This is the saturation of the anxious mind. We are so flooded by the me and the mine that we lose the ability to see the sky. Stop for a moment on this path. Find a flat stone and sit down. Do not worry about reaching the temple. The temple is not going anywhere, and in truth, the temple is already within you. Sit and feel the weight of your body. Notice how much effort it takes to hold your head up, to keep your back straight, to maintain the posture of a person who has things under control. Now, for just a moment, let that effort go. Let your shoulders drop. Let your belly soften. Let your hands rest loosely in your lap. The anxiety you feel is often just the friction between who you are and who you think you should be. It is the heat generated by two surfaces rubbing together in opposition. You are trying to move north, while your soul wants to sit still. You are trying to speak when your heart wants to be silent. You are trying to be a mountain when you are actually the air. In the Zen tradition, we speak of the original face. This is the face you had before your parents were born. It is the face you have when you are not trying to look like anything at all. It is not a face of beauty or ugliness, of youth or age. It is the face of pure awareness. But to see this face, we must first allow the clouds of anxiety to be what they are, without trying to push them away. If you fight the clouds, you only create more wind, and the wind only stirs the clouds into a storm. Listen to the rain as it hits the broad leaves of the trees. It does not ask permission to fall. The trees do not ask permission to grow. The mountain does not ask permission to stand. They are all simply being what they are, without the slightest hint of anxiety. They do not have identities to protect. A tree does not worry if it is being a good enough tree. A rock does not fret over whether it is as solid as the rock next to it. Only we, with our complex minds and our fragile egos, carry this burden. As you sit on this stone, imagine that each of your worries is a heavy stone inside a sack you have been carrying on your back. One by one, reach into the sack. Pull out the stone of your career. Look at it. Feel its cold, hard surface. Then, place it gently on the ground beside you. Reach in again. Pull out the stone of your social standing, the stone of your physical appearance, the stone of your past mistakes. Place them down. Do not throw them away in anger. Just set them down, with the realization that you do not need to carry them right now. How does your back feel? How do your lungs feel now that the straps of the sack are no longer tightening across your chest? There is a lightness that comes when we stop trying to be the author of our own greatness. There is a profound relief in being ordinary. In the eyes of the universe, you are as natural as the rain and as necessary as the grass. You do not need to earn your place here. You do not need to justify your existence through achievement or identity. The mist is still there, and the rain is still falling, but they are no longer an obstacle. They are simply the weather of the moment. Your anxiety is also just weather. It is a collection of atmospheric conditions in the mind. It feels solid, it feels permanent, but it is actually in a constant state of flux. If you stop trying to be the person who is anxious and instead become the space in which the anxiety happens, everything changes. The space is not anxious. The sky is not the storm. The sky is the vast, blue emptiness that allows the storm to pass through it. Who are you when you stop trying to be someone? You are the silence between the raindrops. You are the stillness beneath the wind. You are the awareness that observes the clouds without being moved by them. Stay here for a while. There is nowhere else to go. There is nothing else to do. For this moment, you are no one. And in being no one, you are finally free. As you rest in this space of being no one, let your breath become the soft rhythm of the universe itself. Imagine you are standing at the edge of an ancient silver river at twilight. The air is cool and carries the scent of damp moss and cedarwood. This river is not just water. It is the flow of time, the flow of thoughts, and the flow of all human striving. For many years, you have tried to swim against this current. You have tried to grab onto the smooth stones at the bottom, hoping to find a permanent place to stand. You have tried to build dams of logic and walls of worry to protect yourself from the changing tides. But tonight, the Zen master within you asks a simple question. What happens if you simply let go of the shore? Consider the story of the young monk who sat by a waterfall, trying desperately to find enlightenment. He squeezed his eyes shut and tried to force his mind to be still. He fought every thought like it was an enemy. His teacher approached him and began to rub two bricks together. The sound was harsh and grating, breaking the monk's concentration. The monk asked why the teacher was doing such a thing. The teacher replied that he was polishing the bricks to make them into a mirror. The monk laughed and said that no matter how hard you rub bricks, they will never become a mirror. The teacher smiled and said that no matter how hard you sit and fight your thoughts, you will never find peace through force. Peace is not something you create. Peace is what remains when you stop creating conflict. Look at the river again. See a single leaf falling from a willow tree. It does not struggle against the air. It does not argue with the wind about where it should land. It surrenders to the gravity of the moment. When it hits the surface of the water, it does not sink. It floats. It becomes one with the movement of the river. You are that leaf. Your worries are the ripples that fade into the vastness of the water. Notice how the river does not carry a grudge against the rocks that break its surface. It simply flows around them. It finds the path of least resistance. It is soft, yet it carves through the hardest granite over time. This is the power of yielding. This is the strength of the quiet heart. Now, imagine walking away from the river toward a small wooden temple nestled among the pines. The path is made of flat, grey stones. With every step, feel the weight of your body pressing into the earth. The earth accepts you completely. It does not ask for your credentials. It does not care about your mistakes or your triumphs. It simply supports you because you are part of it. As you reach the temple, you see a single candle burning in the window. The flame is steady. It does not try to light the whole world. It simply glows in its own small circle of space. Be like that flame. Do not worry about tomorrow or the shadows in the corners of the room. Just be the light that is here, right now. Inside the temple, the floor is covered in soft tatami mats. The air is filled with the faint, sweet smoke of sandalwood incense. You sit down, and for the first time in a long time, you feel the profound silence of the mountain. This silence is not empty. It is full of presence. It is a living, breathing stillness. In this stillness, you realize that your mind is like a vast, clear mirror. Thoughts are merely reflections passing across the glass. A bird flies by, and the mirror reflects the bird. The bird leaves, and the mirror remains clear. A cloud passes, and the mirror reflects the cloud. The cloud vanishes, and the mirror is unchanged. The mirror does not try to hold on to the bird. It does not mourn the loss of the cloud. It is always pure, always open, always ready for whatever comes next. You have spent so much energy trying to clean the reflections off the mirror, but the reflections are not the problem. The problem is the belief that the reflections are you. You are the mirror itself. You are the vastness that allows everything to exist without being stained by it. Let the reflections of your day drift away. Let the images of your face, your name, and your roles dissolve into the sandalwood smoke. They are only shadows. They have no substance. Beneath them is the unshakable ground of your true nature. As you sit in this temple of the mind, listen to the sound of a distant bell. The sound rises from nothing, vibrates through the air, and returns to nothing. Where does the sound go when it fades? It returns to the silence from which it was born. Your life is a series of sounds rising and falling in the silence of eternity. There is a great comfort in this. You do not have to hold on to anything because nothing can truly be lost. Everything returns to the source. Everything finds its way home. Feel your shoulders dropping further away from your ears. Feel the tiny muscles around your eyes relaxing. The tension you held was just a way of trying to control the uncontrollable. But here, in the heart of the Zen forest, there is no need for control. The trees grow by themselves. The moon rises by itself. The seasons change without your help. You are being breathed by the universe. You are being held by the same force that keeps the stars in their places. Trust this force. It knows the way even when you feel lost. It is the compass of the soul. The night is deepening now. The shadows in the temple are long and soft. The incense has burned down to a fine grey ash. You are tired, and it is a beautiful, natural tiredness. It is the exhaustion of a traveller who has finally reached the gates of home. There is a bed of silk and wool waiting for you. It is warm and inviting. As you move toward it, feel your body becoming heavier, like a stone sinking into a deep, clear pond. The water of sleep is cool and dark. It is a place of total restoration. In this state of transition, remember the lesson of the empty boat. A man is crossing a river in his boat, and another boat strikes his. If there is a person in the other boat, the man will shout and get angry. But if the boat is empty, the man will simply steer around it and continue on his way. Tonight, make your boat empty. Let there be no one inside to get angry, no one to be anxious, no one to be hurt. If thoughts collide with you, let them hit an empty vessel. They will leave no mark. They will cause no damage. You are the space that allows all things, the silence that hears all things, and the peace that surpasses all understanding. Close your eyes now. Within this vision, the temple, the river, and the forest are all within you. You are the creator of this sanctuary. You can return here whenever the world becomes too loud. But for now, the journey is over. The path has led you to the edge of dreams. The stars are whispering your true name, a name that has no sound. The universe is tucking you in, wrapping you in a blanket of starlight and shadow. Rest now. The work is done. The silence is complete. You are home. The night air carries the scent of pine. The silver moon reflects in the still pond. No ripples remain. Your journey ends here in silence. Rest now. Sleep deeply. You are the peace you have always been. Welcome to this quiet space where the world fades and the spirit begins its long journey home. You have been walking for a very long time through the thick forests of expectation and the crowded streets of achievement. Your shoulders are weary from the heavy cloak of identity you wear so tightly. Tonight, we set down the lantern of doing and sit by the fire of being. There is no need to hurry here. There is no destination to reach and no person you must become. In this stillness, we will look into the mirror of the soul, not to see the face the world knows, but to find the essence that remains when the world is silent. Take a deep breath and let the air fill your chest like a gentle tide. As you exhale, let go of the names you have been called and the titles you have earned. Think of the city at noon. The air is thick with the sound of engines and the frantic energy of 1,000 minds, all pushing toward a horizon that never arrives. You are in the center of this storm. You feel the tightening in your throat and the restless drumming of your heart against your ribs. This is the weight of trying to be someone. We spend our days building a monument to ourselves out of gold and clay and glass. We believe that if we stop building, the monument will fall and we will vanish with it. We are afraid that if we are not the successful worker or the perfect parent or the tireless achiever, then we are nothing at all. This fear is like a cold wind that blows through the corridors of your mind, keeping the doors from ever fully closing. It tells you that you are falling behind. It whispers that you are not enough as you are. Consider the story of the young monk who sat by a rushing stream, trying to catch the water with his bare hands. He wanted to hold the river to prove he could master its flow. But the more he grasped, the more the water escaped through his fingers, leaving him frustrated and exhausted. His teacher watched from the bank and asked him why he was fighting the water. The monk replied that he wanted to be the master of the stream so he could show his worth to the temple. The teacher smiled and told him to simply place his hands in the water and let them be still. When the monk stopped trying to catch the river, he felt the cool silk of the current passing over his skin. He became one with the movement. He was no longer a man trying to be a master. He was simply a part of the universe. You are currently like that young monk. You are trying to catch the river of your life. You are trying to shape the water into a form that others will admire. You feel the pressure of time ticking like a heavy hammer. The modern world demands that you be a brand and a product and a hero all at once. It asks you to wear a mask that is too small for your true face. This mask is made of your anxieties and your social standing and your bank balance and your regrets. It is heavy. It makes it hard to breathe. When you close your eyes at night, the mask does not come off. It stays there, pressing against your skin, reminding you of everything you did not finish today and everything you must conquer tomorrow. This tension in your body is the physical manifestation of a soul that is tired of performing. Your muscles are locked in a state of defense because you feel the world is a judge waiting for you to fail. But who is this judge? If you look closely, you will see that the judge is a shadow cast by your own desire to be special. We are taught from childhood that to be ordinary is to be invisible. We are told that we must stand out and climb higher and leave a mark upon the earth. So we run. We run until our lungs burn and our vision blurs. We run toward a version of ourselves that exists only in the future. We are never here. We are always there in the land of tomorrow, where we are finally happy and finally settled. But the storm is here now. The anxiety is the sound of your spirit crying out for rest. It is the friction between who you are and who you think you should be. Imagine a great tree in a gale. The branches that are stiff and rigid are the ones that snap. The branches that are flexible and soft are the ones that dance with the wind. You have become rigid in your pursuit of being someone. You have forgotten how to bend. You have forgotten that the sky does not care about your achievements. The mountains do not ask for your resume. The stars do not look down and wonder if you are productive enough. They simply exist in a state of perfect, effortless grace. To find peace, you must first acknowledge the storm. Do not try to push the anxiety away. Do not fight it. If you fight the waves, they will crush you. If you float upon them, they will carry you. Feel the tension in your jaw and the heat in your chest. Acknowledge the voice that says you are not doing enough. Listen to it as if it were a distant bird chirping in the woods. It is a sound, but it is not you. You are the space in which the sound occurs. You are the vast, open sky through which the storm clouds pass. The clouds are dark and heavy with rain, but they are not the sky. They are temporary visitors. When you stop trying to be someone, you become everything. When you drop the heavy bags of identity, you find that your hands are finally free to touch the present moment. Think of a stone at the bottom of a deep lake. The surface may be whipped into a frenzy by the wind. There may be boats and noise and chaos above, but the stone remains at the bottom, cold and still and silent. It does not try to be a fish. It does not try to reach the surface. It is content to be exactly what it is. You are that stone. Deep beneath the layers of your stress and your roles and your worries, there is a place of absolute stillness. This is your original home. This is the place where the question of who you are has no meaning, because you simply are. Listen to the breath. It is the only thing that is truly yours. It does not care about your name. It does not care about your past. It only knows the now. As you breathe in, you are receiving the gift of life. As you breathe out, you are returning that gift to the world. There is no effort in this. There is no competition. There is no stress in the way the lungs expand and contract. They follow a rhythm that was set before you were born and will continue until your work is done. Allow yourself to fall into that rhythm. Let the frantic thoughts of the day dissolve like salt in the ocean. You are not the thoughts. You are the one who hears them. You are not the anxiety. You are the one who feels it. The world will tell you that you are a collection of parts. It will say you are your job or your body or your thoughts. But Zen teaches us that we are the emptiness that holds all things. This emptiness is not a void of nothingness, but a field of infinite possibility. When you stop trying to be a specific shape, you return to the formless, and in the formless, there is no stress. There is no pressure to perform because there is no audience to please. There is only the quiet pulse of existence. Rest in this pulse. Let the storm outside continue if it must. Here, inside the sanctuary of your own being, the air is clear and the light is soft. You are safe. You are whole. You are enough exactly as you are, without adding a single thing. Consider for a moment the ancient story of the master and the student sitting by a mountain stream. The student asked how one could find peace when the world is filled with noise and chaos. The master did not speak at first. He simply picked up a small stone from the bank and dropped it into the water. They watched the ripples spread outward, touching the reeds and the mossy banks until the surface became smooth once more. The master said that the mind is like this water. When you throw a thought or a worry into it, ripples appear. If you try to smooth the water with your hands, you only create more disturbance. But if you sit still and wait, the water returns to its natural state of clarity on its own. Your true nature is that clarity. It is not something you have to build or earn. It is already there, beneath the movement of your thoughts. You do not need to fix your mind. You only need to let it settle. The art of non-doing is the most difficult lesson for the modern heart to learn. We are taught that to solve a problem, we must act. We must pull, push, or change the world around us. But in the realm of the spirit, peace comes from the cessation of struggle. Imagine your worries are like birds flying across the sky. They have wings and they have songs, but they do not leave a trail in the blue expanse. The sky does not try to hold on to the bird. It does not try to change the bird's direction. It simply provides the space for the bird to exist and then to pass away. You are the sky. Your anxieties are the birds. Let them fly. Do not reach out to catch them. Do not build a cage for them in your mind. Just watch them fade into the distance until there is only the vast, silent blue. This blue is the color of your inner peace, deep and unreachable by the storms of the world. As you lie here, feel the weight of your body becoming one with the earth. There is a fragrance of pine and damp earth drifting through the open window of your awareness. It is the scent of life in its simplest form. The night is a velvet blanket that covers the world, softening the edges of every sharp corner and dimming the bright lights of the day. In this darkness, there is no need to see. There is only the need to feel. Feel the rise and fall of your chest. It is a slow and rhythmic motion, like the tide of a distant ocean. With every exhale, you are releasing the remnants of the day. You are letting go of the words you said and the words you wished you had said. You are letting go of the plans for tomorrow and the regrets of yesterday. Each breath is a bridge from the world of doing to the world of being. There was once a scholar who went to visit a Zen master to ask about the meaning of enlightenment. The master began to pour tea into the scholar's cup. He poured until the cup was full, and then he kept pouring. The tea overflowed, spilling onto the table and the floor. The scholar cried out that the cup was full and no more could go in. The master smiled and said that, like this cup, the scholar was full of his own opinions and speculations. How could the master show him wisdom unless he first emptied his cup? Tonight, I invite you to empty your cup. Empty your mind of everything you think you know about yourself. Empty your heart of the heavy burdens of identity. When you are empty, you are ready to be filled with the silence of the universe. This emptiness is not a lack, but a profound fullness of possibility. The silence is not a void, it is a presence. It is a warm and nurturing embrace that knows you better than you know yourself. As the stars begin to emerge in the overhead canopy of the night, each one represents a moment of stillness. Focus on one star. It is a tiny point of light in a sea of darkness. It does not struggle to shine. It simply is. You are that light. You are that stillness. The world is turning, the seasons are changing, and the rivers are flowing. But in the center of your being, there is a point that never moves. It is the eye of the hurricane. It is the root of the ancient cedar tree. Sink deeper into this root. Let the tension in your shoulders dissolve like salt in warm water. Let the muscles in your face soften until your expression is as peaceful as a sleeping child. Walk with me, in your mind, to a small wooden bridge over a pond filled with koi fish. The water is dark and still. In the moonlight, you can see the silver flashes of the fish moving slowly beneath the surface. They do not hurry. They do not worry about where they are going. They are perfectly at home in their element. You, too, are in your element when you are in the present moment. The past is a ghost, and the future is a dream. Only this moment is real. The feeling of the cool air on your skin, the sound of your own heartbeat. These are the anchors that keep you from drifting into the stormy seas of the mind. Listen to the sound of the water lapping against the shore. It is the sound of time passing, yet it feels as though time has stood still. The Zen tradition speaks of the original face, the face you had before your parents were born. This is not a physical face, but the essence of who you are before the world told you who you should be. It is the face of pure awareness. It is the face of the mountain that remains unmoved by the clouds that drift across its peak. When you stop trying to be someone, you find out who you truly are. You are the witness. You are the observer of the dance of life. And as the observer, you are not touched by the drama. You are the silence that allows the music to be heard. You are the canvas upon which the colors of the world are painted. The colors may be bright or dark, but the canvas remains white and pure. You are entering the gateway of dreams, where the logic of the day no longer applies. Here, the impossible becomes possible, and the heavy becomes light. Trust the darkness. Trust the quiet. You are being carried by a river of grace that leads to the ocean of deep and restorative sleep. There is nothing left to do. There is nothing left to think. There is only the breath. In and out. In and out. Like a gentle breeze through a bamboo grove. Like the softest whisper of a falling leaf. Sleep now. Sleep in the arms of the infinite. Your journey through the day is over, and your journey into the night has begun. You are held. You are loved. You are at peace. Each cell of your body is now vibrating with the frequency of the stars. You are part of the vast mystery, and the mystery is kind. Let yourself go. Let yourself fall into the soft embrace of the night. There is no more effort. There is no more seeking. You have arrived. You are home. Sleep, sleep, sleep. The silence of the universe breathes through you now as you drift into the quiet ocean of dreams. Every breath is a gentle wave washing away the last remnants of the day. You are the stillness between the notes of a distant flute. The moonlight cradles your spirit in a velvet light that knows no shadows. Rest deeply in this sacred void, where the self dissolves into the eternal light. The path is clear, and the night is kind. Rest now in peace. Welcome back to this space of stillness. Take a deep breath, and let the weight of your name and your stories fall away. For too long you have carried the burden of being someone for others. You have worn many faces and spoken many languages that were not your own. But here in the shadow of the lotus, there is no need for masks. We are beginning a journey into the heart of the inner temple. This is the place where the noise of the world fades into a soft hum, and the only truth that remains is the rhythm of your own life force. As you listen to my voice, let your mind become like a clear mountain pond with no ripples and no reflections of the past, just the depth of the present moment. Let us begin to walk the path toward the center of your being, where you are finally free from the need to become. The path beneath your feet is soft with the needles of ancient pines. Each step you take is a deliberate release of a memory or a duty. Imagine yourself walking through a thin silver mist that smells of wet cedar and cold stone. You are moving toward a temple that has no physical walls, but is built from the silence of centuries. This is the temple of your own true nature. As you approach the heavy wooden gates, you notice that they are weathered by time and wind. There is a small stone basin near the entrance where the water is clear and cold. You stop to wash your hands and your face, and as the water touches your skin, you feel the layers of your social identity dissolving. The person who works, the person who worries, and the person who strives are all washed away into the dark earth. You step through the gate, and the air changes immediately. It is cooler here and filled with the scent of sandalwood and old books. The ground is covered in smooth grey stones that crunch softly under your weight. You are not a traveller, or a student, or a worker anymore. You are simply a presence moving through space. Look around at the gardens surrounding the main hall. The trees do not try to be tall, and the stones do not try to be hard. They simply exist in their own perfection. Why have you spent so many years trying to be something other than what you are? The flower does not look at the tree and feel small. The stream does not look at the ocean and feel incomplete. They are whole in their function and their form. You reach the heavy doors of the inner sanctuary. They are carved with scenes of clouds and dragons. But the wood is dark and smooth from the touch of many hands seeking the same peace you seek now. You push them open, and the sound is like a deep sigh. Inside the room is vast and empty. There are no chairs and no tables, only a single silk cushion in the center of the floor. A single candle burns on a low altar, casting long, soft shadows against the paper walls. You walk toward the center of the room and sit down. As you settle your body, you feel the tension in your shoulders melt away. You are no longer holding up the sky. You are no longer carrying the expectations of your family or your friends or your society. Listen to the silence. It is not an empty silence, but a full one. It is vibrating with the pulse of the universe. In this room, you are invited to put down your name. If you had no name, who would you be? If you had no history, who would you be? If you had no future to plan for, who would you be right now? You are the space between the thoughts. You are the awareness that watches the breath move in and out. You are the stillness that remains when the storm has passed. The candle flame flickers slightly, but there is no wind. It is as if the light itself is breathing. You watch the smoke from a single stick of incense rise in a straight line before curling into delicate patterns. This is the nature of your thoughts. They rise and they dance and they disappear. They do not define the air they move through. You are that air. You are the vastness that allows everything to happen without being changed by it. Feel the cool floor beneath you, supporting your weight. You do not have to hold yourself up. The earth is doing that for you. You do not have to create your life. Life is living through you. Every cell in your body knows what to do without your instructions. Your heart beats, and your lungs expand, and your blood flows in a perfect rhythm. You are a miracle of existence that requires no effort to be. The struggle to be someone is like a wave trying to be the ocean. The wave is already the ocean. It cannot be anything else. Even when it crashes and breaks, it is still water. Even when it is a still pool in the sun, it is still water. You close your eyes in this quiet temple, and you realize that the temple is not a place you have visited. It is the core of your own heart. You have always been here. You just forgot to look. The noise of your desires and your fears was so loud that you could not hear the quiet song of your own soul. But now the song is clear. It is a song of peace and belonging. You belong to the stars and the dust and the wind. You are part of the great tapestry of being, and your thread is exactly where it needs to be. There is a profound relief in giving up the search. There is a deep joy in stopping the race. You have arrived. There is nowhere else to go and nothing else to do. You are not a project to be finished or a problem to be solved. You are a flower blooming in the dark. You are a star shining in the void. As you sit in this inner sanctuary, you feel a warmth spreading from your chest to your limbs. It is the warmth of self-acceptance. It is the light of 1,000 suns, contained within a single moment of clarity. You are who you are when you stop trying, and who you are is enough. It has always been enough. The walls of the temple seem to breathe with you. The shadows lengthen as the sun sets outside, but the darkness is not frightening. It is a soft blanket that covers the world. In the dark, there are no shapes to define and no colors to compare. There is only the feeling of being. You are the witness to this moment. You are the silence that hears the bell. You are the emptiness that contains everything. Rest now in this realization. Let the quiet of the temple seep into your bones. You are home. You are free. You are exactly who you were meant to be, before the world told you who you should be. Stay here in the stillness, as the light fades and the peace of the night begins to descend upon the mountain and upon your soul. As the last sliver of golden light vanishes behind the jagged peaks of the mountain, a profound velvet darkness begins to drape itself over the temple grounds. The air shifts, turning from the warmth of the day to a crisp, cooling clarity that carries the scent of damp earth and ancient cedar. You are sitting on the edge of the wooden veranda, your feet resting near the smooth stones of the garden. The world is retreating into shadow, and with it, the many masks you have worn throughout the day begin to crumble and fall away. In this transition from light to dark, there is a sacred space where nothing is required of you. You do not need to plan. You do not need to remember. You do not need to become anything other than what you are in this very breath. Listen to the sound of the wind as it moves through the bamboo grove. It is a soft, rhythmic shushing, like the breath of the mountain itself. The bamboo does not resist the wind. It bends, it yields. It finds its strength in its flexibility. Within you, there is a similar capacity for yielding. All the tensions you have carried, all the rigid thoughts about how life should be, can now soften. Imagine your mind is like that bamboo grove. Let the thoughts blow through you without catching on anything. Let them rustle the leaves of your consciousness and then pass into the night. You are the stillness that remains after the wind has moved on. Consider the story of the nun, Chiono, who for many years sought enlightenment but found it elusive. One night, she was carrying an old bucket filled with water. The bucket was aged, held together by thin strips of bamboo, reflecting the full moon in its dark, shimmering surface. As she walked, she watched the moon dancing in the water, trapped within the circle of the wood. Suddenly, the bamboo strips broke. The bottom of the bucket fell away. The water rushed out, soaking into the dry earth, and the reflection of the moon vanished instantly. For a moment, Chiono was free. She looked up and saw the real moon, hanging vast and luminous in the infinite sky, no longer confined by the limits of a wooden vessel. Your life has often been like that bucket. You have tried so hard to hold on to the water, to preserve the reflection of who you think you are. You have tightened the bands of your control, fearing that if the bucket breaks, you will lose everything. But the Zen master whispers to you now that the breaking is the beginning of your freedom. When the water of your ego spills away, you are no longer limited by the shape of the container. You are no longer chasing a reflection in a small, dark space. You are the sky. You are the moon itself. You are the vastness that cannot be contained. Let the bottom of your bucket fall away tonight. Let the expectations and the worries drain into the soil. They are gone, and you are left with the reality of the infinite. As you move deeper into the stillness, feel the weight of your body settling. The wooden floor beneath you is solid and supportive. It has held many seekers before you, and it holds you now with an unblinking patience. Notice the rhythm of your breathing. It has slowed down, becoming a deep, effortless tide. Each inhalation brings in the cool, silver energy of the moonlight. Each exhalation releases a layer of ancient fatigue. You are breathing with the forest. You are breathing with the stars. There is no boundary between your lungs and the atmosphere. You are a part of the great respiration of the universe. In the distance, a single owl calls out, its voice a lonely but peaceful punctuation in the silence. This sound does not disturb the quiet. It deepens it. In the same way, the occasional thought that drifts across your mind does not disturb your inner peace. It is merely a ripple on the surface of a deep, dark lake. You are not the ripple. You are the depth. You are the cold, still water that remains unmoved 100 feet below the surface. Down there, in the heart of your being, there is a silence that has never been broken. It is a silence that was there before you were born and will be there after the stars have faded. This is your true home. Think of a hand that is tightly clenched into a fist. It is tired, it is strained. It can hold nothing new because it is so busy holding onto itself. Now imagine that hand slowly opening. The fingers uncurl, the palm relaxes, the tension evaporates. An open hand can receive the entire world. An open hand is at rest. Your heart is like that hand. For too long it has been clenched in a fist of anxiety, trying to protect itself from the world. But here, in the safety of the temple, under the watch of the ancient pines, you can finally open. You can let go of the grip. You can be empty, and in that emptiness, you find that you are actually full of peace. The night is now total. The temple lanterns have been extinguished, leaving only the soft, natural glow of the heavens. The shadows in the room are long and soft, blurring the edges of objects until everything becomes one. This is the beauty of the dark. It removes the distinctions we use to divide the world. In the dark, there is no here and there. There is no this and that. There is only the unified field of existence. You are merging with the shadows. You are becoming the night. The heaviness in your limbs is a gift from the earth, an invitation to return to the source. As you prepare to transition into the realm of sleep, carry this realization with you. You are not a traveler lost in the woods. You are the woods themselves. You are the path, and you are the one who walks it. The peace you feel is not something you have earned. It is what you are when you stop trying to be something else. Let your eyes grow heavy. Let the world of form and shadow dissolve into a gentle mist. The mountain is cradling you. The silence is singing to you. There is nothing left to do. There is nowhere left to go. You have arrived. Sink down now, deeper and deeper, into the soft embrace of the eternal. Sleep is not a loss of consciousness, but a return to the deep, unconditioned well of being. Rest there. Be there. All is well. All is silent. All is one. The breath is the only bridge left between the world you knew and the vast ocean of rest you are entering. Feel the cool air brush against your nostrils like the silver wings of a mountain moth. It enters as a guest and leaves as a memory. There is no need to hold on to it. There is no need to count the passing moments. Time has lost its sharp edge in this sanctuary of shadows. Imagine a single white lotus floating upon a pond at midnight. The water is perfectly still, reflecting a moon that does not try to shine but simply exists. You are that water. You are that moon. You are the stillness that holds them both. Every muscle in your body is now like a silken thread, untying itself from a complex knot. The tension of the day was merely a story you were telling yourself, and now the book is closed. The ink has dried. The pages are blank and beautiful. Let the weight of your limbs become one with the ancient earth beneath you. The earth does not ask for your effort. It only asks for your presence. You are falling upward into the stars, drifting through the velvet dark where every thought is a distant lantern flickering out. There is a profound mercy in this silence. It is the mercy of the void, where everything begins and everything returns. Do not fear the emptiness, for it is full of peace. It is the womb of the universe. As you drift, remember that the mountain does not move because it is satisfied. Be like the mountain. Be satisfied with this breath, this moment, this ending. The night is a soft blanket woven from the dreams of the ancestors. Wrap yourself in its warmth. Let the rhythm of your heart become the rhythm of the tide, slow and certain. You are safe. You are held. You are home. The journey of the day has ended, and the journey of the soul begins in the quiet halls of sleep. Rest now. Let go of the light. Let go of the name. Let go of the self. Peace is here. Peace is you. Sleep. May the silence be your teacher. May the dark be your friend. Sleep in the heart of the One. Let your spirit dissolve like salt into the great and infinite, eternal peace. Welcome to this sacred space of stillness. Before we begin our journey into the heart of the mountain, I invite you to settle your body and release the weight of the day. Feel the ground beneath you, steady and unmoving, supporting you without effort. Take a deep, slow breath, drawing the cool air deep into your lungs. And as you exhale, imagine you are shedding a heavy cloak. This cloak is woven from your titles, your achievements, your failures, and the many names the world has given you. For this moment, you do not need to be a professional, a parent, a child, or a friend. You do not need to be successful, and you do not need to be right. You are simply a breath, a heartbeat, and a presence. Let the silence wrap around you like a soft blanket, and allow your mind to drift toward the quiet peaks of the inner landscape, where the self begins to dissolve into the infinite. High above the mist-veiled valleys of the ancient cedar forests, there stood a monastery, carved from the very bones of the mountain. The air here was always thin and sharp, tasting of snow and old stone. In this place of eternal quiet lived a young seeker named Kaito. Kaito had traveled many miles, crossing turbulent rivers and climbing jagged cliffs, driven by a deep and restless hunger. He was a man who had spent his entire life trying to be someone of importance. In his village, he was known for his sharp intellect. In the city, he was known for his ambition. But inside, he felt like a hollow bamboo reed, whistling with the wind, but holding nothing of his own. He arrived at the monastery gates with a heavy heart and a mind crowded with questions, seeking the one truth that would finally make him feel complete. The master of this monastery was an old man named Ryushin, whose eyes were as clear as mountain springs and whose movements were as fluid as water. When Kaito first approached him, the master was not sitting on a high throne or chanting complex sutras. Instead, Ryushin was kneeling in the dirt of the inner courtyard, carefully moving a small wooden rake through the grey sand. The sound was rhythmic and low, a soft scraping that seemed to harmonize with the distant call of a mountain hawk. Kaito stood at the edge of the garden, his shadow long and jagged against the pristine sand. He cleared his throat, ready to present his long list of spiritual accomplishments and his deep understanding of the scriptures. He wanted the master to see him as a worthy student, a person of substance and potential. "Master," Kaito began, his voice trembling slightly with the effort of maintaining his composure. "I have studied the ancient texts for 7 years. I have mastered the art of concentration. I have lived a life of discipline and service, yet I still do not know who I am. I feel as though I am wearing 1,000 masks and I cannot find the face beneath them. Please, tell me the secret of the true self. Who must I become to find enlightenment?" Ryushin did not look up from his work. He continued to draw a perfect circle in the sand, his hand steady and slow. The sun began to dip behind the western peaks, casting a golden, honey-like glow over the courtyard. The scent of pine resin and damp earth rose from the ground, filling the air with a grounding, ancient aroma. Finally, the master set the rake aside and looked at Kaito. He did not look at Kaito's fine clothes or his proud posture. He looked directly into his eyes, past the layers of identity and the noise of the ego. "You ask who you must become," Ryushin said, his voice a low vibration that seemed to echo in the very stones beneath their feet. "But the path of the mountain is not about becoming. It is about unbecoming. You have spent your life building a house of cards and calling it a home. You have gathered stones from the river and called them gold. Now, I ask you a question, and I want you to answer not with your tongue, but with your entire being. Show me your original face, the face you had before your parents were born." Kaito froze. The words hit him like a physical blow, stripping away his prepared speeches and his intellectual pride. He opened his mouth to speak, to offer a clever, philosophical interpretation, but the master raised a hand, commanding silence. The wind picked up, rustling the leaves of the old ginkgo tree in the corner of the courtyard. A single yellow leaf detached itself from a branch and drifted downward, spinning slowly in the air. Kaito watched it fall, his mind racing to find a solution to this impossible riddle. He thought of his lineage, his memories, his physical form, but none of it seemed to reach back far enough. The question was a wall he could not climb, a mirror that showed him nothing but empty space. "Go now," Ryushin whispered, his eyes softening with a strange, quiet compassion. "Sit by the edge of the waterfall at the northern cliff. Do not think. Do not strive. Do not try to be a seeker of truth. Just sit until the person you think you are vanishes into the sound of the falling water." Kaito turned and walked toward the northern cliff, his footsteps heavy on the stone path. The moon began to rise, a pale silver sliver in the deepening blue of the twilight. As he walked, he felt the familiar anxiety rising in his chest, the urge to solve the problem, to win the master's approval, to be the one who finally understands. But as he reached the waterfall, the sheer power of the water began to drown out the noise of his thoughts. The water tumbled from a great height, crashing into a deep pool below with a thunderous, white roar. The spray was cold and fine, settling on his skin like 1,000 tiny needles of ice. He sat on a flat rock at the water's edge and closed his eyes. At first, he tried to meditate, focusing on his breath with a rigid, desperate intensity. He tried to visualize his original face, searching through the darkness of his mind for an image or a symbol, but the more he tried, the more frustrated he became. He was still trying to be someone, even here in the wilderness. He was trying to be the perfect meditator, the successful student, the one who achieves awakening. He realized that even his desire for enlightenment was just another mask, another layer of the ego trying to secure its own survival. Hours passed. The stars shifted in the sky, turning in their slow, celestial dance. The cold seeped into his bones, and his legs grew numb. His mind, exhausted by its own spinning, finally began to slow down. He stopped trying to find an answer. He stopped trying to be Kaito. He simply sat. The sound of the waterfall changed from a roar to a song, and then from a song to a simple, wordless presence. The boundary between his skin and the cool night air began to blur. He felt the vibration of the water in his own chest. He felt the stillness of the mountain in his own spine. In that moment of absolute surrender, the question returned to him like a soft breeze. Who are you when you stop trying to be someone? The answer was not a word or an image. It was a feeling of profound, weightless emptiness. It was the realization that the seeker and the path were the same thing. He was not the person watching the waterfall, he was the falling water itself. He was the cold air, the silver moonlight, and the ancient stone. The masks had not been removed, they had simply dissolved, leaving behind a presence that was as vast as the sky and as silent as the stars. He breathed in, and the entire universe seemed to breathe with him. He breathed out, and the world fell away, leaving nothing but the pure, unadorned light of being. In this profound stillness, the traveler realized that the struggle to find peace was the very thing that had kept peace at a distance. He sat by the edge of the dark pool and watched as the ripples from his earlier movements finally smoothed away. The water became a perfect mirror. It did not try to reflect the moon. It did not exert effort to capture the image of the stars. It simply was. Because it was still, and because it was empty of its own agenda, it could hold the entire cosmos within its shallow depth. The traveler understood then that his mind was meant to be like this water. For years he had crowded his inner world with the furniture of his desires and the heavy tapestries of his regrets. He had built walls of logic and fences of expectation. But here, in the shadow of the great mountain, the walls had crumbled. He saw that an empty room is not a lonely place, but a place of infinite potential. Only in an empty room can the wind dance freely. Only in an empty bowl can the nourishment be poured. The master had once told him a story about a young monk who sought the secret of the eternal. The monk had climbed the highest peaks and fasted for 40 days, asking every sage he met to show him the way. One day he found an old man sitting under a gnarled pine tree. The old man was doing nothing but breathing. The monk asked him where the path to the eternal began. The old man pointed to a single leaf that was drifting slowly toward the forest floor. He said that the path begins exactly where that leaf lands, and it ends exactly where the leaf started. The monk was confused and spent years trying to decode the riddle. It was only when he stopped thinking and simply watched a leaf fall in his own garden that he understood. The leaf does not worry about the height of the tree or the hardness of the ground. It does not calculate the speed of its descent. It surrenders to the air. It trusts the gravity. In that surrender, the leaf and the wind and the earth become a single movement of grace. The traveler felt this grace now as it moved through his own limbs. The tension that had lived in his shoulders for decades began to melt like wax near a flame. He felt the weight of his physical form pressing into the soft moss, and it no longer felt like a heavy burden. Instead, it felt like a homecoming. He was being invited back into the soil from which all life springs. He thought of the roots of the trees beneath him, reaching down into the dark, cool earth. They do not fight the rocks they encounter. They grow around them. They find the path of least resistance, and in doing so, they become strong and resilient. He realized that his own life had been a series of collisions with the rocks of circumstance. He had tried to break the stones with his will, only to find himself bruised and exhausted. Now he chose the way of the root. He would flow. He would bend. He would find the hidden spaces between the obstacles and move through them with the quiet persistence of water. The air grew cooler, and the scent of damp earth and pine needles became more intense. Every breath he took felt like he was drinking from a clear mountain spring. The oxygen seemed to carry with it the wisdom of the ages. It was a reminder that he was never truly alone. He was breathing the same air that the ancient masters had breathed. He was part of a continuous cycle of life that had no beginning and no end. The concept of time began to feel like a faded map of a country that no longer existed. The past was merely a memory of a dream, and the future was a shadow that had not yet been cast. There was only this moment, this breath, this heartbeat, this silence. He saw that the anxiety he had carried was born from the fear of what might happen or the grief of what had already passed. But in the absolute presence of the now, there was no room for fear. There was only the reality of being. He closed his eyes, and the darkness behind his lids was not a void, but a vast landscape of peace. He felt his consciousness expanding beyond the boundaries of his skin. He was the rustle of the leaves in the distance. He was the soft hoot of an owl in the high branches. He was the slow pulse of the earth itself. The distinction between the internal and the external had vanished. There was no longer an I experiencing the world. There was only the world experiencing itself through him. This was the great liberation that the sutras spoke of. It was not a destination to be reached, but a recognition of what had always been true. He was a wave in the ocean, finally realizing that it had never been separate from the sea. The wave rises and falls and changes shape, but its essence is always the water. As he drifted deeper into this state of tranquil awareness, he felt a profound sense of gratitude. He was grateful for the path that had led him here, even the parts that had been steep and painful. He was grateful for the silence that now enveloped him like a warm blanket. He felt his heartbeat slowing to match the rhythm of the mountain. His thoughts were like distant clouds moving across a vast sky. He watched them pass without trying to catch them or change their shape. He let them drift away until the sky of his mind was perfectly clear and blue. The weight of his eyelids became a gentle invitation to rest. He was ready to let go of the day and all its stories. He was ready to sink into the deep, dark waters of sleep, where there are no names and no forms. He was returning to the source. He was becoming the silence. He was home. The breath flows in and out like the gentle tide of a moonlit sea. There is no effort required to exist in this moment. You are simply a witness to the unfolding stillness. The room around you dissolves into a soft, velvet darkness, where worries have no weight and time has no meaning. Every muscle in your body has surrendered its burden to the earth beneath you. You are like a leaf that has finally touched the surface of a quiet pond after a long journey through the autumn air. There is no more falling and no more reaching. There is only the presence of peace. Listen to the silence that lives behind the sound of your breathing. It is a vast and ancient silence that has always been here, waiting for you to return. In this space, you are not your name or your history or your plans for tomorrow. You are the clear light of awareness, resting in its own nature. The path you walk today has faded into the mist, and the path of tomorrow is yet to be born. There is only the eternal now. Feel the coolness of the air on your skin and the warmth of the blankets wrapping you in a cocoon of safety. You are protected by the wisdom of the ages. The great masters of the past are whispering to your spirit that all is well. Everything is exactly as it should be. You have done enough. You have been enough. Now it is time to drift into the deep and healing waters of the night. Let your consciousness expand until it touches the stars. You are part of the great dance of the universe, and the universe is resting within you. The boundary between the inner and the outer has vanished. You are the mountain and the wind and the moon. Sink deeper into the embrace of the dark. Let go of the last thread of thought. Rest in the emptiness. Sleep now in the heart of the lotus. Sleep in the light of the truth. You are home. Peace is yours. Sleep now. Welcome to this quiet space of the soul. Take a deep breath and feel the weight of your many names falling away from your shoulders like heavy winter coats. For too long, you have been a collection of titles and expectations. You have been a student, a worker, a parent, a friend, a success, or perhaps a failure in your own eyes. But here, in the stillness of the lotus whisper, those labels have no power. We are stepping into a garden where the wind does not ask the trees for their identity. We are entering a sanctuary where the water does not try to be anything other than clear. Tonight, we begin a journey toward the center of your being. We will look into the dusty mirror of the soul and learn what happens when you finally stop trying to be someone. Imagine you are standing at the edge of an ancient courtyard, hidden deep within the mist of a silent mountain range. The air is cool and smells of damp earth, moss, and the faint, sweet scent of pine needles. The sun has not yet climbed over the jagged mountain peaks, and a soft, ethereal blue mist clings to the stone floor beneath your feet. In the center of this courtyard stands a small wooden pavilion, its cedar pillars weathered by centuries of rain and wind. Inside the pavilion, resting upon a simple stone pedestal, is a mirror. It is not a mirror made of modern glass, but a polished surface of dark, heavy bronze. For years, this mirror has sat in the open air, and the restless winds of the world have brought layer upon layer of dust to settle upon its surface. This dust is not merely dirt. It is a metaphor for the many layers of identity you have accumulated throughout your life. Each speck of dust represents a thought you have had about who you should be. One layer is the persona you wear at work, the one that is efficient, stoic, and always capable. Another layer is the mask you wear for your family, the one that is strong and never tires. There is a thick layer of dust made of the comparisons you make when you look at others, the feeling that you are not enough, or the desperate need to be noticed and validated. As you stand before this mirror, you realize you cannot see your own reflection at all. You see only the grey, dull accumulation of years of trying, years of striving, and years of pretending. The Zen masters teach us that the soul is like this mirror. By its very nature, it is bright, clear, and capable of reflecting the entire universe. But we become so preoccupied with the dust that we forget the mirror exists. We begin to think that we are the dust. We identify with our anxieties, our roles, and our achievements. We spend our lives decorating the dust, trying to make the grey layers look more attractive to the world. But tonight, we are not here to decorate. We are here to clean. You reach out and pick up a soft white cloth resting beside the pedestal. The fabric is cool and smooth against your palm. You take a slow, deep breath, feeling the mountain air fill your lungs, and you bring the cloth to the surface of the bronze. As you make the first gentle stroke, you hear the faint sound of the cloth moving against the metal. It is a rhythmic, soothing sound, like the breath of the ocean. With this first movement, you decide to let go of your name. For this moment, you do not need a name. A name is just a sound people use to call you back into the world of noise. As the name falls away, a small sliver of the bronze begins to shine. You continue to wipe the surface, moving in slow, circular motions. With every circle, you release a different role. You let go of being a provider. You let go of being a protector. You let go of being a victim or a hero. You feel the tension leaving your wrists and your forearms. The act of cleaning is not an act of labor, but an act of liberation. You are not creating a reflection. You are simply allowing the reflection to happen. The dust is stubborn in some places, representing the deep-seated fears and the old stories you tell yourself about your limitations. You do not fight these spots. You do not scrub with anger. You simply stay present with the movement, breathing into the resistance until the dust yields to the softness of the cloth. Notice how the courtyard seems to grow quieter as the mirror becomes cleaner. The birds in the distant trees have stopped their chattering, and the wind has died down to a mere whisper. There is a profound sense of tranquility that comes when you stop trying to be someone important. When you stop trying to be someone special, you realize that you are already part of everything. The pressure to stand out, to be unique, to be better than others, is a heavy burden that the soul was never meant to carry. As the bronze surface begins to emerge from beneath the grey veil, you see the reflection of the morning sky. The deep blues and soft purples of the dawn are captured in the metal, not because the mirror is trying to catch them, but because it is finally clear enough to receive them. Think about the water in a mountain lake. When the surface is agitated by the wind, it cannot reflect the moon. It becomes distorted, broken into 1,000 jagged pieces of light. But when the wind stops and the water becomes still, the moon appears perfectly on the surface. The water does not have to try to reflect the moon. It does not have to study the moon or work hard to capture its likeness. It simply has to be still. You are the same. Your true nature is not something you have to build or earn. It is what remains when you stop the internal wind of striving. As you continue to clean the mirror, you find that your breathing has synchronized with your movements. In and out, wipe and release. You are beginning to feel a strange and beautiful lightness in your chest. The anxiety that usually hums in the background of your mind is fading, replaced by a deep, resonant silence. You realize that the person who was so worried about the future and so regretful about the past was just another layer of dust. That person was a story you were writing, but the mirror is the paper, not the ink. The mirror is now almost completely clear. The dark bronze glows with a warm inner light. You pause for a moment and look at the reflection. You do not see the face you see in the bathroom mirror every morning. You do not see the wrinkles of worry or the tired eyes. Instead, you see a presence. You see a clarity that is as old as the mountains and as fresh as the morning dew. You are looking at the face you had before the world told you who you were supposed to be. This is the state of tranquility. It is the peace of being no one and everyone at the same time. In this stillness, there is no need for words. There is no need for plans. The mirror does not worry about the dust that might return tomorrow. It does not regret the years it spent covered in darkness. It simply exists in the present moment, reflecting the light that is available right now. You lean your forehead against the cool edge of the pavilion pillar and let out a long, slow sigh. The weight is gone. The struggle is over. You have arrived at the beginning of your rest. You have cleaned the mirror, and in doing so, you have found the doorway to a sleep that is deep, restorative, and free from the shadows of the ego. The soul is clean, the mind is quiet, and the body is ready to drift into the vast, welcoming ocean of the night. The stillness here is not an absence of sound, but a presence of peace. Think of the mountain. The mountain does not try to be tall. It does not try to touch the clouds. It simply exists. You are like that mountain now. The clouds of thought are passing over your peak. They are white and soft, and they do not leave a mark. They drift across the blue expanse of your consciousness, and then they vanish into the horizon. You do not need to reach out and grab them. You do not need to ask them where they are going or why they are there. You simply watch them pass. Consider the ancient story of the master who sat by a silver stream under a full moon. A student approached him and asked how one might find enlightenment in a world filled with noise and distraction. The master did not speak. He simply pointed to the reflection of the moon in the moving water. The student looked and saw the perfect white circle dancing on the ripples. Then the master picked up a small stone and tossed it into the center of the reflection. The moon shattered into 1,000 pieces of light. The student was startled. But as they watched, the ripples grew smaller and smaller. The water became still once more. The moon returned to its perfect shape. Your mind is that water. The world throws stones. Your responsibilities throw stones. Your anxieties throw stones. But the moon of your true nature is always there. It cannot be broken. It only waits for you to be still, so that it may show itself to you again. Now, as you lie in this space of quiet reflection, you realize that the mirror you cleaned is not just a piece of glass. It is the entire universe reflecting itself within you. When the mirror is clean, there is no difference between the reflection and the reality. There is no you and no world. There is only the light. This is the great secret of the Zen path. We spend our lives trying to build walls and define who we are. We say, I am this person, or I am that person. We carry our names like heavy stones in a backpack. But in the deep night, when the body grows heavy and the breath becomes a slow tide, we let go of the name. We let go of the story. We set the backpack down at the edge of the bed, and we step into the vastness of the unknown. Feel the cool air on your skin. It is the breath of the world. It does not ask for anything from you. It only offers its coolness. Your heart beats with the rhythm of the earth itself. In the distance, a small temple bell rings once. The sound travels through the damp night air, and then it dissolves into the silence. Your thoughts are like that sound. They arise from the silence, and then they return to the silence. There is nothing to hold on to. There is nothing to fix. There is no problem that needs to be solved before you are allowed to rest. Think of the lotus flower. At night, the lotus closes its petals. It retreats back into its own center. It does not worry about the sun that will rise tomorrow. It does not regret the mud it grew from. It simply rests in its own being. You are the lotus. The day is over, and the petals of your mind are closing one by one. The center is warm and dark and safe. You are protected by the natural laws of the universe. As you drift closer to the edge of sleep, you might feel as though you are floating on a vast, dark lake. The water is warm, and it supports you completely. You do not need to swim. You do not need to move a single muscle. The current of the night is carrying you toward the horizon of dreams. This lake is the great emptiness. In the West, people are often afraid of emptiness. They think it means nothingness or loneliness. But in the heart of Zen, emptiness is fullness. It is the source of all things. It is the womb of the universe where all possibilities exist. To enter this emptiness is to return home to the source of your life. Your breath is now a soft whisper. Each inhale brings in the silence of the stars. Each exhale releases the last remnants of the day. You are becoming part of the shadows in the room. You are becoming part of the wood in the floor and the silk in the sheets. The boundaries of your body are softening. You are like a grain of salt dissolving in the vast ocean. The salt is gone, but the water is now seasoned with its essence. You are not disappearing, you are expanding. Rest now. The work of the soul is done for today. The mirror is bright and the path is clear. There is no more need for words. There is no more need for seeking. The moon is high and the world is asleep. You are the silence between the notes of a song. You are the space between the stars. You are the deep and ancient peace that has always been here, waiting for you to notice it. Close your eyes fully now, and let the darkness be a soft blanket. It is heavy and warm. It presses down on your eyelids with a gentle weight. It settles over your chest like a hand of a mother. It wraps around your feet and keeps them warm. You are sinking down into the soft earth of your own being. Deeper and deeper you go, past the layers of memory, past the layers of hope and fear, down into the bedrock of pure existence. Sleep is not a loss of consciousness. It is a return to the source. It is the great rest that allows the soul to remember its own divinity. The night is your teacher now. Listen to its wordless lesson. It tells you that you are enough. It tells you that you are safe. It tells you that you are loved by the very fabric of the universe. There is nothing you need to do to earn this rest. It is your birthright. It is the gift of the void. Let the world fade away. Let the light go out. There is only the rhythm of the breath and the vastness of the dark. You are home. You are whole. You are at peace. The journey of the day has ended, and the journey of the spirit has begun. Drift now into the deep and holy quiet. Sleep, sleep, sleep. As the final echoes of the great bronze bell dissolve into the cool mountain air, you find yourself standing at the edge of a silver lake. The surface is a perfect mirror, reflecting 1,000 ancient stars that have watched over the world since the beginning of time. There is no ripple, no movement, only the profound stillness of a heart that has found its center. You are like a single drop of water returning to the vast and boundless ocean. The boundaries of your physical form begin to soften and melt away, until you are no longer a separate being, but the very air itself. The scent of cedar on the breeze, and the velvet darkness of the midnight sky. Your worries have become like autumn leaves, carried away by a gentle stream, lost in the distance, where they can no longer be seen or felt. The silence here is not empty, but full of a secret wisdom that speaks directly to your soul. It whispers that everything is exactly as it should be. You are held in the infinite embrace of the cosmos, protected and cherished in this sacred space of rest. The weight of the world has been lifted from your shoulders, leaving you light and free. Sink deeper now into the soft shadows of your dreams. Let the gentle tide of sleep pull you under its warm and comforting waves. There is nothing left to hold on to, and nothing left to seek. You have arrived at the destination of all journeys. Rest now in the eternal cradle of the moon. Sleep. Peace is home. Welcome, traveler of the inner path, to this sanctuary of the soul. Tonight we stand at the edge of a great and ancient mystery. We have spent so many years building a statue of ourselves, carving out a face that the world might recognize and names that the world might call. We carry our achievements like heavy stones and our failures like shadows that refuse to leave. But what happens when the sculptor finally lays down the chisel? Who remains when the mask is set aside and the stories we tell about ourselves are allowed to drift away like smoke? In this sacred space, we are not here to become someone better or someone more. We are here to remember the quiet peace of being no one at all. Let your breath be the bridge that leads you away from the noise of identity and into the soft silence of the waiting earth. Imagine yourself walking along a hidden path that has no destination and no name. The air here is cool and carries the scent of damp pine and ancient stones. There is no clock here and no calendar. There is only the rhythm of the wind moving through the high branches of the cedar trees. As you walk, you feel the weight of your identity beginning to loosen. Every title you have ever earned and every role you have ever played starts to feel like a heavy coat that is no longer needed. You find a clearing in the heart of this forest where the moss is thick and vibrant green. It looks like a velvet blanket spread across the floor of the world. Here, the sun filters through the leaves in golden shafts of light, and the ground is soft and welcoming. Slowly, and with great intention, you decide to lie down. As you lower your body onto the moss, you feel the immediate support of the earth beneath you. It does not ask for your credentials. It does not care about your history or your plans for tomorrow. The earth simply accepts the weight of your presence. Close your eyes and feel the back of your head resting against the cool, soft ground. The earth is steady. It has held the mountains and the oceans for eons, and now it holds you with the same unwavering strength. Notice the sensation of your skull settling into the moss. The tension in your scalp begins to dissolve. The tiny muscles around your eyes, which have spent the day looking for problems to solve, now begin to soften. You are no longer looking out at the world. You are simply being held by it. As you breathe in, feel the coolness of the forest air entering your lungs. As you breathe out, let your shoulders sink deeper into the soil. We carry so much of our identity in our shoulders. We carry the expectations of our families and the pressures of our work. We carry the need to be seen as strong and the fear of being seen as weak. But here, there is no one to see you. There is no one to judge. Let the shoulders drop. Let them spread wide and heavy. Feel the shoulder blades melting into the damp earth as if the ground were opening up to receive them. You are not a person trying to relax. You are simply a part of the landscape. The earth is a master of transformation. It takes the fallen leaf and the withered flower and turns them into rich, dark soil. It knows how to take what is finished and turn it into something new. Allow the earth to take your tension in the same way. Feel the muscles of your back relaxing, one vertebra at a time. The upper back releases its grip. The middle back softens. The lower back, where we often store our deepest anxieties, sinks into the moss. You may feel a slight warmth as the blood flows more freely through these areas. This is the life force returning to a body that has stopped fighting. You are becoming porous. The boundary between your skin and the ground is starting to blur. You are not on the earth. You are of the earth. Focus now on your arms. Let them lie heavy by your sides. Your palms are open and facing the sky. The fingers curl naturally without effort. Think of all the things these hands have tried to grasp and all the things they have tried to hold on to. In this moment, there is nothing to hold. There is nothing to catch and nothing to push away. The hands are empty, and in their emptiness, they are finally free. The weight of your arms feels like the weight of ancient tree roots sinking deep into the loam. They are heavy and still and completely at rest. Now, feel your hips and your pelvis settling into the floor of the forest. This is the center of your gravity and the root of your physical being. Let the gravity do the work. You do not need to hold yourself up anymore. The earth is doing that for you. Feel the large muscles of your thighs letting go. The knees soften, the calves become heavy, the ankles and the feet relax completely. Every cell in your legs seems to be humming with a quiet gratitude for this moment of stillness. Your entire body, from the crown of your head to the tips of your toes, is now a heavy, peaceful weight. You are like a stone that has been dropped into a deep, still pond. You are sinking slowly and gracefully through the layers of the water until you reach the soft silt at the bottom. In Zen, we speak of the great death. This is not the end of life, but the end of the ego. It is the moment when we stop trying to be a separate wave and realize we are the entire ocean. As your body dissolves into the earth, ask yourself, who is left? If you are not your body, and you are not your thoughts, and you are not your name, then who are you? You are the awareness that remains when everything else is stripped away. You are the silence that hears the wind. You are the stillness that feels the heartbeat. You are the vast, open sky that allows the clouds of identity to pass through without being changed by them. The earth beneath you is alive. It breathes with you. Feel the subtle rise and fall of the ground, as if the planet itself were taking a long, slow breath. You are sinking deeper now. The moss is soft and the soil is cool. You are becoming one with the roots of the trees and the hidden streams that flow beneath the surface. There is no effort required to be who you truly are. A flower does not try to be a flower. A mountain does not try to be a mountain. They simply are. You have spent so much energy trying to be someone. Now, for these moments of grace, give yourself permission to be no one. Be the dirt. Be the grass. Be the shadow and the light. The more you let go, the lighter you feel. It is a strange paradox that by becoming heavy and sinking into the earth, you feel as though you are floating. The heavy armor of the self has been removed. You are no longer defending a reputation or protecting a heart. You are open and empty and infinite. The soft earth is not a place of burial, but a place of belonging. You have come home to the source. You have returned to the place where all names are forgotten and all stories find their peace. Rest here in the cradle of the world. Let the earth carry you into the deep, dark quiet of the night. There is nothing left to do. There is nowhere left to go. You are already there. You are already whole. You are already home. In this sacred stillness, the boundary between the dreamer and the dream begins to dissolve, like a salt doll walking into the vast and welcoming ocean. There is no longer a need to hold on to the shore of your identity or the heavy weights of your history. You have released the heavy oars of effort and allowed the current of existence to take you where it will. This is the great surrender that leads not to defeat, but to the ultimate victory of peace. You are entering a space where time has no meaning, and the ticking of the clock is replaced by the rhythmic pulse of the universe itself. Breathe in the cool silver light of the stars, and exhale the last lingering shadows of the day. You are safe. You are held. You are drifting into the heart of the infinite. Imagine yourself now standing on the edge of a high mountain plateau, under a sky so clear and deep that the stars seem close enough to touch. The air is thin and pure, smelling of ancient stone and the faint scent of juniper burning in a distant monastery. In this high place, there is a story told by the old masters about the nature of the self. They speak of a traveler who was terrified of the dark and carried a flickering lantern through the night. The traveller clutched the lantern so tightly that his knuckles turned white, and his eyes were fixed only on the small circle of light at his feet. He was so afraid of the shadows that he never looked up. One night, a sudden gust of wind blew the lantern out. The traveller froze in terror, thinking he was lost in an abyss. But, as his eyes adjusted, he realized that without the small dim light of his lantern, he could finally see the brilliant radiance of the full moon, illuminating the entire landscape. He could see the peaks of the mountains, the silver rivers in the valleys, and the path stretching out clear and wide before him. The lantern was not his guide, it was his limitation. Your ego is like that small, flickering lantern. It provides a tiny circle of certainty, but it blinds you to the vastness of your true nature. Now, in this moment of rest, the wind has blown out your lantern. The small stories you told yourself about who you are and what you must achieve have gone dark. Do not be afraid of this darkness. It is not an empty void, but a pregnant silence. It is the womb of all possibilities. As the light of your individual ego fades, the light of the universal mind begins to shine through you. You are not the person who was struggling. You are the space in which the struggle occurred. You are the mountain that remains unmoved while the clouds of thought drift past your peak. Let us walk further into this internal landscape. See a small wooden boat tied to a rickety dock on the edge of a mist-covered lake. The water is as smooth as a black mirror reflecting the silence of the trees. You step into the boat and untie the rope. There are no oars and there is no rudder. The boat begins to drift slowly away from the shore into the center of the lake, where the mist is thick and white. In Zen, there is a teaching about the empty boat. If a man is crossing a river and an empty boat happens to collide with his own, he will not become angry, even if he is a hot-tempered man. But if there is a person in that boat, he will shout and curse and demand that the other steers away. Why is this? It is because, when we perceive an ego, we perceive a target for our frustration. But when the boat is empty, there is no one to blame and no one to be angry with. As you lie here tonight, become that empty boat. If thoughts drift toward you, let them pass through you as if you were made of mist. If memories collide with your mind, let them find no one there to receive them. When you are empty of self, you are full of the universe. There is no friction between you and the world. You are the water and the boat and the mist all at once. The lake does not try to be still, it simply is. The mist does not try to be mysterious, it simply is. You do not need to try to sleep. You do not need to try to relax. You only need to be empty. Listen to the sound of a distant temple bell. The sound arises from the silence, travels through the cool night air, and then returns to the silence. Where does the sound go when it fades? It does not disappear. It simply merges back into the source. Your life is like that sound. It is a beautiful vibration in the silence of eternity. Feel the vibration of your own existence humming in your fingertips and your toes. It is a gentle warmth, a soft golden glow that permeates every cell of your body. This warmth is the energy of life itself, unburdened by the weight of names or titles. In the monastery of the mind, there is a garden with a single stone basin filled with water. The moon is reflected perfectly in the center of the basin. If you stir the water, the moon shatters into 1,000 silver fragments. If you try to catch the moon in your hands, you find only cold water, and the reflection disappears. But if you leave the water alone, the moon returns to its perfect wholeness. Your mind has been stirred by the events of the day, and the reflections of your peace have been shattered into fragments of anxiety and planning. But now, the water is becoming still. The ripples are smoothing out. The silt is settling to the bottom. The moon of your true nature is beginning to appear again, bright and clear, and undisturbed. You are the stillness of the water. You are the clarity of the reflection. You are the distant moon and the deep, dark sky. There is a profound joy in realizing that you do not have to be anything in particular. You do not have to be successful or wise or strong. You can simply be. Like a leaf falling from a tree, you are trusting the gravity of the universe to bring you to the ground. There is no hurry in the fall. There is no resistance to the air. There is only the graceful descent into the soft moss of the earth. The night is long, and the shadows are kind. They wrap around you like a heavy velvet blanket, shielding you from the demands of the world. In this darkness, all colors are the same. All shapes are one. The distinction between the bed you lie on and the air you breathe is fading. You are expanding outward, filling the room, filling the house, filling the street and the city. You are the night itself. You are the quiet breathing of the trees and the slow turning of the earth. As you drift closer to the edge of sleep, remember the words of the old masters, who said that the great way is not difficult for those who have no preferences. Let go of the preference for sleep, and let go of the fear of wakefulness. Let go of the desire for tomorrow and the regret for yesterday. Be here, in the center of the circle, where there is no beginning and no end. The gate is open. The path is clear. The mountain is waiting. You are the silence. You are the peace. You are the dream. Sleep now in the arms of the infinite. Sleep now in the heart of the light. Sleep. The breath becomes a soft breeze, dancing through the pine needles of your soul. The mind is now a still pond, reflecting the silver moon in perfect clarity. No more thoughts remain, only the gentle rhythm of eternal existence. You are drifting slowly into the vast ocean of ancient stars. Temple bell fades into the velvet distance. Rest your weary soul, for the universe holds you close. There is nothing left to do but surrender. Every muscle is heavy like the fertile earth. Every breath is light like a passing cloud. The darkness is a warm blanket of grace. Your journey ends in sacred silence. Welcome to this space of stillness. Sit quietly and let the weight of the day fall away from your shoulders, like an old cloak discarded at the edge of a forest. Tonight, we walk together into the quiet gardens of the mind, where the moon reflects in the dark water of the soul. You have spent so long carrying the world and its heavy expectations. You have tried so hard to be the person everyone needs you to be. But here in the shadow of the lotus, there is no need for names or titles or achievements. There is only the breath and the gentle pulse of life within you. Let your heart slow down. Let your thoughts drift like white clouds across a vast and empty sky. You are safe here. You are home. Consider the immense and exhausting effort it takes to maintain an identity. Since the moment you woke this morning, you have been building a version of yourself for the world to see. You have worn your achievements like heavy armor and your failures like cold iron chains. You have practiced your smiles and rehearsed your words and guarded your heart against the judgment of others. But who are you when the lights go out and the voices of the world fade into the distance? Who are you when you stop trying to be someone? Imagine for a moment that you are standing by a narrow stream in a forest where the trees are ancient and wise. The air is cool and smells of damp earth and moss. The water flows over smooth grey stones, and it does not struggle to find its way. It simply moves according to the shape of the land. It does not try to be a grand waterfall or a vast and deep lake. It is perfectly content to be the stream. Your life has been filled with moments of suffering and moments of joy. But we often treat our pain as a solid wall that blocks our path. We fight against the current of our own experiences, and we try to push the water back. In the path of Zen, we learn that suffering is not an enemy to be defeated, but a teacher to be heard and understood. When we stop resisting the movement of our lives, we find that the very things that caused us pain can become the gentle lessons that set us free. Think of the river again. When a broken branch falls into the water, the river does not stop its journey. It does not argue with the wood or try to force it away. It flows around the obstacle and carries it along until the wood becomes part of the journey itself. Your sorrows and your regrets are like that fallen wood. If you try to hold on to them or fight them, they become heavy and they pull you under the surface into the dark. But if you let them float, they become part of the scenery of your soul. Relaxation begins the very moment you stop fighting the reality of who you are and where you are. You do not need to be perfect to be worthy of peace. You do not need to be strong to be whole. The moon does not try to shine. It simply reflects the light that is already there in the universe. In this quiet hour, let go of the need to achieve and the need to improve. Allow yourself to be as you are in this breath and in this moment. Breathe in the cool night air and feel it fill your lungs like a soft blue light. Breathe out the tension that lives in your jaw and your neck and your hands. You are becoming the stream. You are becoming the silence. The world asks so much of you, but the universe asks for nothing but your presence. Feel the softness of the ground beneath you and the stillness of the air around you. There is a deep and ancient wisdom in the act of letting go. It is the wisdom of the falling leaf that trusts the wind to carry it to the earth. It is the wisdom of the flower that opens its petals to the sun without asking if it is beautiful enough or if it has earned the right to bloom. You have spent your life trying to be a person of substance and weight and importance. Now try being a person of space and light. When you stop trying to be someone, you become everything. You become the wind in the tall pines and the ripple on the surface of the pond. You become the quiet between the notes of a distant song. This is where true relaxation lives. It is not the absence of activity, but the absence of struggle. It is the profound realization that you are already enough exactly as you are. The lessons of your life are not meant to be burdens that you carry on your back. They are the gentle ripples that show you where the water is moving and where the depth lies. Listen to the sound of your own breath. It is the most honest thing about you. It does not lie or pretend or seek approval. It simply is. Let your suffering soften. Let it melt into the stream of your consciousness until it is no longer a sharp stone that cuts, but a smooth pebble resting at the bottom of a clear and quiet pool. As you lie here or sit here, feel the boundaries of your body beginning to soften. The skin that separates you from the air feels less like a wall and more like a bridge. You are not a separate island in a vast ocean. You are the ocean itself, moving in a particular way for a short time. When you stop trying to be someone, you realize that the person you were trying to be was always just a story you were telling yourself. And stories can be finished. Stories can be set aside. What remains is the witness. What remains is the peace that has no name. Imagine a boat drifting on a lake at night. If the boat is empty, it can collide with other boats and no one is angry. If you are empty of the need to be someone, you can move through the world without friction. You can turn your suffering into a stream of lessons because you are no longer attached to the outcome. You are just the water flowing. You are just the breath moving. You are just the silence deepening. Let the world go on without you for a while. It will be there when you return. But for now there is only the stream. There is only the lesson. There is only the deep and restorative sleep that comes when the soul finally stops trying to prove its existence and simply exists. You are at peace. You are here. You are free. The mountain path before you is paved with the silver light of a moon that does not judge where it falls. It illuminates the jagged rock and the soft moss with the same gentle indifference. As you walk this path in the stillness of your mind, you realize that the weight you carried was never yours to hold. It was a collection of shadows you mistook for stone. Now, with every step, the shadows dissolve into the cool night air. You are climbing toward a temple that has no walls and no roof. It is a place built of pure presence. Imagine a small stone lantern at the edge of a clearing. Inside its hollow center, a single flame flickers. This flame does not struggle against the wind, it dances with it. It understands that to resist the movement of the universe is to invite suffering, but to move with it is to find grace. This is the secret of the Zen mind. It is the ability to be the flame and the wind at the same time. As you watch this light, your breath becomes as steady as the earth beneath you. You are no longer a traveler seeking a destination. You are the path itself. There is an old story of a monk who spent his life trying to reach the peak of a sacred mountain. He climbed through storms and heat, always looking upward, always counting the steps he had left. One evening, as the sun began to set behind the jagged peaks, he sat down on a flat stone to rest. He looked at his hands and saw how worn they were. He looked at the valley below and saw how far he had come. In that moment of exhaustion, he stopped wanting to reach the top. He simply sat. He watched the clouds drift through the pines. He listened to the distant cry of a hawk. And in that moment of stopping, the mountain climbed him. The peak was no longer above him, it was within him. The silence of the heights filled his chest, and he realized that the journey was never about the summit. It was about the moment he finally let go of the need to arrive. You are in that moment now. The summit of your day has passed. The need to achieve or to understand has fallen away like a dry leaf from a branch. You are sitting on that flat stone in the cool twilight, and the mountain of your life is at peace. The air around you grows colder, but you are warm in the center of your being. You feel the heavy velvet of the night wrapping around your shoulders. This darkness is not a void. It is a womb. It is the fertile ground from which all things grow. In the Zen tradition, we speak of the great void as a source of infinite potential. When you empty your mind of thoughts, you are not becoming nothing. You are becoming everything. You are the space in which the stars hang. You are the silence between the notes of a song. As you drift closer to the edge of sleep, feel your body becoming light as a feather caught in an updraft. Your feet are heavy and warm. Your legs are sinking into the soft earth. Your hips and your back are supported by the vastness of the universe. There is nothing to hold up. There is nothing to carry. The earth is holding you. The stars are watching over you. The breath moves in and out like the tide of a distant ocean. Think of a boat drifting on a lake in the middle of the night. There is no wind and no current. The boat is empty. There is no oarsman and no passenger. It simply floats. If another boat were to drift into it, there would be no anger because there is no one in the boat to be offended. This is the state of the empty boat. When you are empty of the ego and empty of the self, you cannot be harmed by the world. You simply drift. You are the boat. You are the water. You are the moonlight reflecting on the surface. Everything is interconnected. Everything is one. The ripples of your thoughts are becoming smaller and smaller. The surface of the lake is becoming as smooth as a mirror. In this mirror, you see the true face of the universe. It is a face of profound kindness. It is a face of total acceptance. You are now entering the deepest part of the forest. The trees here are ancient and wise. They do not hurry to grow. They do not compete for the sun. They simply stand in their own truth. Their roots reach deep into the dark, cool soil, drawing strength from the silence. You can feel your own roots reaching down now. They are grounding you in this moment of absolute safety. The sounds of the world are fading. the ticking of the clock, the hum of the city, the echoes of the day are all dissolving into the sound of your own heartbeat. It is a slow and rhythmic drum. It is the sound of life continuing without effort. You do not have to try to live. Life lives through you. You do not have to try to sleep. Sleep is a gift that arrives when you stop reaching for it. The stars above are like diamonds scattered on a bed of black silk. Each one is a reminder of the vastness of time. In the grand scale of the cosmos, the worries of a single day are like dust in the wind. They are gone before they can even be named. Let them go. Let the wind take them. Let the water wash them away. You are left with only the essence of who you are, a being of light, a being of peace, a being of deep and quiet strength. The temple doors are opening for you now. Inside, there is a bed of soft moss and the scent of sandalwood. The air is still. The light is dim. This is your sanctuary. This is the home you have always carried within you. As you lay your head down in this inner temple, the world of form disappears. There is only the soft hum of the infinite. There is only the gentle descent into the dreamless sleep where the soul is renewed. You are sinking down into the depths of the cool, dark water, down into the heart of the mountain, down into the center of the flame. You are safe. You are loved. You are one with the silence. Sleep now. Let the silence speak. Let the peace remain. The journey is over, and the rest has begun. Deep sleep is your natural state. It is the return to the source. It is the ultimate Zen. Be still. Be quiet. Be. Imagine a single drop of dew resting on a lotus leaf. It does not struggle to stay. It does not fear the fall. When the wind whispers, the drop simply slides into the pond, becoming the pond itself. You are that drop. The boundaries of your body have dissolved like salt in the ocean. There is no longer a you and a world. There is only the vastness of the night. The stars above are not distant lights, but reflections of the light within your own heart. Feel the rhythm of the universe in your slow and steady breath. Every inhalation is the tide coming in. Every exhalation is the tide going out. You are the shore, and you are the sea. In this sacred space, the mind is a garden at midnight. The flowers have closed their petals. The birds are silent in the high branches. The stone lantern glows with a soft and ancient warmth. There is nothing left to solve. There is nothing left to achieve. The stories of the day have faded like smoke in the crisp mountain air. Let go of the need to understand. Let go of the need to remember. Wisdom is not found in books or words, but in the profound silence that remains when the ego sleeps. You are entering the great hall of peace. The wooden floors are cool beneath your feet. The incense has burned down to a single glowing ember. The mountain does not ask the clouds to stay. The river does not ask the water to stop. You are flowing now into the dreamless state where time has no meaning. Your limbs are heavy with the sweet weight of total surrender. Your thoughts are like autumn leaves drifting down to a dark forest floor. They rest there, turning into the soil of new life. Sleep is the great teacher. It shows us that we can exist without effort. It shows us that we are supported by the earth, even when we are unaware. Trust the darkness. It is the womb of the morning. It is the soft blanket of the eternal mother. As you drift further, the last echoes of the world fall away. The sound of the wind, the memory of a face, the weight of a name, all are gone. You are a shadow dancing with the moonlight. You are the stillness at the center of the storm. Rest your head upon the pillow of the infinite. Let the silence wrap around you like a silk robe. There is no tomorrow. There is no yesterday. There is only this perfect, golden moment of rest. You are home. You are whole. You are peace. Sleep now within the great void. Be. Welcome back to this quiet space of the soul. Tonight we embark on a journey toward the very center of your being. For too long, you have carried the weight of 1,000 names and the expectations of a world that never truly sees you. You have been a worker, a parent, a friend, and a stranger. You have worn masks so thin they have become like skin. But here, in the garden of the Lotus Whisper, the masks are allowed to fall. We are moving away from the anxiety of becoming and into the grace of simply being. Let the tension in your shoulders dissolve like salt in warm water. As we begin our 8th chapter, let your breath become a bridge between the noise of the day and the silence of the night. You are safe. You are home. The sun has dipped below the jagged edge of the horizon, leaving behind a sky of bruised purple and soft charcoal. You are sitting on a wooden porch of an ancient temple, overlooking a valley that is slowly filling with mist. The air is cool and carries the scent of damp earth and pine needles. There is no one here to demand anything of you. There is no clock ticking toward a deadline. There is only the vastness of the darkening sky and the slow rhythm of your own heart. For a long time you have been running toward a version of yourself that exists only in the future. You have been building a monument to someone you think you should be. But tonight, the building stops. The construction of the self is paused. Imagine for a moment that you could set down your entire history at the edge of this porch. Your name, your titles, your successes, and your failures are all just garments. They are heavy coats that you have worn through a long winter. Feel the relief as you unbutton these layers. One by one, you let them slide off your shoulders and fall to the floor. You are not the coat. You are the warmth that remains when the coat is gone. You are the presence that observes the cooling air. In the distance, far across the valley where the mountains touch the clouds, there is a small monastery. From its high tower, a great bronze bell begins to ring. It is not a sharp sound, but a deep and resonant vibration that seems to rise from the earth itself. The sound travels through the mist, crossing the tops of the cedar trees and the winding rivers until it reaches you. Listen to the first strike. It is a low and humming note that fills the empty space around you. As the sound hits your ears, notice how it does not ask for anything. It does not judge. It simply exists. The sound of the bell is like a mirror for your soul. It rings, and then it slowly fades into the silence. Each time the bell strikes, it reminds you of the impermanence of all things. The sound comes from nothingness and returns to nothingness. Your thoughts are the same. They arise like the vibration of the bronze, and then they dissolve back into the quiet. You do not need to follow them. You do not need to catch the sound and hold it. You only need to be the space where the sound happens. Who are you when you stop trying to be someone? This is the question that the bell asks as it rings a second time. If you were to lose your memory of yesterday, who would you be right now? You would be this breath. You would be this sensation of the cool wood beneath your palms. You would be the way the light fades into the shadows. We spend our lives trying to be special or trying to be enough, but the mountain does not try to be a mountain. The river does not try to flow. They simply fulfill their nature without effort. You have been told that you must improve yourself and that you must grow and change. But the Zen masters teach us that you are already the finished masterpiece. You are like a golden statue that has been covered in mud. You think you are the mud, but you are the gold beneath. By relaxing, by letting go of the effort to be someone, you are simply washing away the dust. You are revealing the original face you had before you were born. The third strike of the bell is softer now as the air grows still. Feel the vibration in your chest. Let it loosen the knots of tension in your solar plexus. We hold so much identity in our bodies. We hold our pride in our chests and our fear in our stomachs. Let the sound of the bell vibrate through these areas. Imagine the sound is a gentle hand smoothing out the wrinkles of your spirit. You are becoming transparent. You are becoming like the mist in the valley. The mist does not fight the trees. It flows around them. It does not argue with the rocks. It embraces them. This is the way of the person who has stopped trying to be someone. They are no longer a solid object that can be hit or hurt. They are the atmosphere. They are the very air that everyone breathes. When you are no longer trying to be a person, you become the universe. You are the stars that are beginning to blink in the high heavens. You are the crickets singing in the tall grass. You are the silence that holds the world together. As the echoes of the bell linger in the air, notice the quality of the silence that follows. It is not an empty silence. It is a full and vibrant presence. This is your true home. This is the place you go when the world is too loud. You do not need to travel far to find it, because it is always right here, beneath the noise of your thinking. It is the stillness between your breaths. It is the gap between your thoughts. In that gap, there is no anxiety. In that gap, there is no self to defend. There is only peace. You are like a leaf that has finally stopped fighting the current and has chosen to float. The water knows where to take you. The universe knows how to sustain you. You do not have to steer the ship tonight. You can let the oars rest. You can let the wind take the sail. The sound of the distant bell is calling you back to your true nature. It is a reminder that you are allowed to be nothing, and in being nothing, you are everything. Your body is feeling very heavy now, as if you are sinking into the earth. The earth is strong, and it can carry you. You do not need to hold yourself up anymore. Let your muscles go soft. Let your jaw relax. Let your eyes close if they have not already. The world will continue to turn without your help. The sun will rise and the rain will fall, whether you worry about it or not. There is a great freedom in realizing how little your effort is actually required for the world to be beautiful. You are a part of the beauty, not the manager of it. The bell strikes one last time, a faint and ghostly sound that is almost indistinguishable from the silence. It is the sound of your own soul coming to rest. You are here. You are present. You are no one. And in this no-oneness, you are finally free to sleep. The deep and ancient peace of the mountain is your peace. The quiet of the valley is your quiet. Rest now in the pure presence of the night. You are exactly where you need to be. You are the sound, and you are the silence. You are the dreamer, and you are the dream. As you drift further into this state of being, where the dreamer and the dream are one, you begin to realize that the boundaries of your body are like the edges of a cloud in a vast summer sky. There is no hard line where you end and the universe begins. Think of a small mountain stream flowing over smooth grey stones. The water does not struggle to move around the rocks. It simply yields. It finds the path of least resistance, and in its yielding, it is more powerful than the stone. Your thoughts are like those stones, and your awareness is the water. For a long time you have tried to move the stones or climb over them, but now you see that you can simply flow. You are the flowing water. You are the coolness that touches the moss. You are the rhythm of the current. In the tradition of the ancient masters, there is a story of a traveler who sought the meaning of peace. He climbed the highest peaks and crossed the widest deserts, only to find an old monk sitting by a small pond. The traveler asked how he could find stillness in a world that never stops moving. The monk did not speak. Instead, he took a heavy stone and dropped it into the center of the pond. Riggles spread out in every direction, disturbing the reflection of the trees and the sky. The monk whispered to the traveler that the mind is like this pond. When you try to smooth the water with your hands, you only create more ripples. You must wait. You must sit on the bank and let the water settle of its own accord. As you lie here now, you are sitting on that bank. You are watching the ripples of your day and your life grow smaller and smaller. The surface of your mind is becoming a perfect mirror. It reflects nothing but the deep velvet blue of the night sky. There is a profound relief in realizing that you do not have to fix anything. You do not have to solve the mysteries of your existence before you close your eyes. The mountain does not ask why it stands. The moon does not ask why it shines. They simply are. And you, in this moment, simply are. Feel the weight of your limbs as they sink into the soft earth of your bed. It is as if the gravity of the entire planet is gently pulling you into a deep and loving embrace. You are being held by the world. You are safe. You are protected by the silence that surrounds you. Within this silence, there is a story that has been told for 1,000 years. It is the story of a young woman named Chiono, who studied for many years to find enlightenment, but her mind was always full of noise. One night she was carrying an old bamboo bucket filled with water. She was watching the reflection of the full moon in the water as she walked through the forest. Suddenly, the aged bamboo strips that held the bucket together broke apart. The bottom fell out, and the water rushed away into the earth. The reflection of the moon vanished. In that exact moment, Chiono looked up and saw the real moon hanging in the sky. She realized that she had been holding on to a vessel that was broken and chasing a reflection that was not real. She became free. You are like Chiono now. You are letting the old bucket of your worries fall apart. You are letting the water of your anxieties drain away into the soil. You no longer need to carry the weight. You no longer need to protect the reflection. The real light is already within you and all around you. It does not require a vessel. It does not require effort. As the bucket breaks, you feel a lightness that you have not felt in many years. Your breath is the only thing that remains. It is a slow and steady tide. Inhale the scent of the night air. It carries the faint aroma of pine needles and damp earth. Exhale and let go of the last remnants of the day. Every muscle in your face is softening. Your jaw is relaxed. Your shoulders have dropped away from your ears. Your heart beats with the slow and steady pulse of the ancient earth. You are descending a long and beautiful staircase of mist. With every step you take, you become less solid and more like the air itself. On the first step, you leave behind your name. On the second step, you leave behind your history. On the third step, you leave behind your desires. By the time you reach the bottom, you are a pure presence. You are the space between the stars. You are the quiet between the heartbeats. In this space, there is no time. There is no yesterday to regret and no tomorrow to fear. There is only this infinite and nourishing now. The darkness is not a void. It is a warm blanket. It is the womb of the universe where all things go to be renewed. Sleep is not a loss of consciousness, but a return to your true home. It is the place where the soul goes to remember its own divinity. Listen to the sound of the wind as it brushes against the eaves of the temple. It is a lullaby sung by the world to itself. You are part of that song. You are a note that is fading into a beautiful silence. The forest is quiet. The birds are nestled in the branches. The deer are resting in the tall grass. All of nature is showing you the way. To live is to act, but to sleep is to trust. You are trusting the night to take care of you. You are trusting your body to heal itself. You are trusting the great mystery to guide you through the darkness and into the light of a new beginning. But that beginning is far away. For now, there is only the depth. There is only the softness There is only the peace that passes all understanding. You are drifting on a boat with no oars and no destination. The water is calm, and the stars are your only companions. The boat moves slowly, rocking you into a state of total surrender. There is nothing left to do. There is nowhere left to go. You have arrived. You are home. Rest in the stillness, melt into the shadows. Let the waves of sleep wash over you until there is nothing left but the quiet glow of your own spirit shining in the dark. Sleep now. Sleep in the heart of the mountain. Sleep in the arms of the infinite. All is well. All is still. All is peace. The gentle rhythm of the water against the wood of the boat becomes the heartbeat of the universe itself. You are no longer a separate traveler on a vast sea, but the sea itself flowing into the eternal night. Every breath you take is a soft breeze that stirs the leaves of the ancient trees on the shore. Every thought has dissolved like a pinch of salt in a warm ocean. There is a profound silence that speaks louder than any word ever spoken. It tells you that you are safe. It tells you that you are loved by the very earth beneath you and the sky above you. The stars do not judge your journey. They simply witness your peace. As the boat drifts into the mist of the inner lake, the boundary between the water and the air fades away. You are floating in a void of pure light and soft darkness. The weight of your body has vanished. You are as light as a single petal falling onto a mirror of glass. The mountain stands as a silent guardian of your dreams. It has seen 1,000 moons, and it knows the secret of your rest. Trust in this stillness. Let the heavy curtain of sleep fall over your eyes with the softness of silk. There is no tomorrow to worry for, and no yesterday to carry. There is only this perfect moment of being. The universe breathes with you. The silence embraces you. You are the stillness. You are the peace. You are the light that never fades, even in the deepest sleep. Close your eyes and let the infinite hold you. Good night, dear soul. Rest now in the quiet heart of all things. Welcome, weary traveler, to this quiet space between the stars. You have spent your day carrying the heavy weight of a name, a role, and a mountain of expectations. You have been a worker, a parent, a friend, or perhaps a stranger to yourself. But here, in the soft embrace of the shadows, those titles begin to dissolve like salt in a warm sea. Tonight, we do not seek to achieve anything. We do not look for progress or improvement. We simply look for the truth that remains when the world stops asking you to be something. Let your body settle into the earth. Let your thoughts drift like fallen leaves on a still pond. You are entering a sanctuary where the self is no longer a burden, but a gentle ripple in the vast ocean of existence. Imagine yourself sitting on a weathered wooden veranda overlooking a garden that has no walls. The moon is a silver coin resting in the palm of the night sky. The air is cool and carries the faint, sweet scent of damp moss and ancient stone. For decades, you have been building a house called the Self. You have painted the walls with your successes and reinforced the doors with your fears. You have spent so much energy maintaining this structure, making sure the world sees a finished building. But notice how tired your hands are. Notice how heavy your heart feels from the constant effort of being someone. In this garden, there is no need for walls. There is no need for a roof. There is only the vast, open space of the universe. Close your eyes and feel the weight of your limbs. Your legs are like heavy logs resting on the soft forest floor. Your arms are like willow branches draped over a still stream. You are no longer the architect. You are no longer the builder. You are simply the space in which the breath happens. Listen to the sound of your own breathing. It is not something you are doing. It is something the universe is doing through you. Like the tide pulling back from the shore, Your breath retreats into the silence. Like the tide returning to the sand, your breath flows back into your chest. Who are you when you stop trying to be important? Who are you when you stop trying to be good or useful or right? When you strip away the layers of your history, what is left? There is a profound peace in the realization that you do not have to be anyone at all. The mountain does not try to be tall, it is simply tall. The flower does not try to be beautiful, it simply blooms. You have spent your life trying to become something, but tonight I invite you to simply be. Think of a river. The water flows over the stones, around the bends and through the shadows. The water does not wake up in the morning and decide to be a river. It does not worry if it is flowing fast enough or if it is clear enough. It follows the path of least resistance, surrendering to the pull of the earth. You are that water. The path is the breath. The destination is the deep, dark sea of sleep. As you lie here, feel the boundaries of your skin beginning to soften. It is as if the edges of your body are blurring into the air around you. You are not a separate island in a lonely sea. You are the sea itself. Every inhale is a wave rising. Every exhale is a wave falling. There is no effort in a wave. It does not struggle to reach the shore. It is moved by a force far greater than itself. Allow yourself to be moved by that same cosmic tide. The anxieties of the day are like dust motes dancing in a beam of light. They seem so solid, so present, but when the light fades, they vanish. Your worries about tomorrow, your regrets about yesterday, they are only shadows cast by the ego. But the ego is resting now. It is laying down its tools. It is closing its eyes. In this stillness, there is no past to fix and no future to fear. There is only the rhythmic pulse of existence. Feel the center of your chest. There is a light there, soft and golden, like a candle flame in a windless room. This light does not flicker. It does not fade. It is the light of pure awareness. It does not have a name. It does not have a job. It does not have a bank account or a reputation. It is the part of you that was there before you were born and will be there after you are gone. It is the silent witness to the dance of your life. Merge your breath with this light. With every breath, the light expands, filling your heart, your lungs, your belly, your head. You are becoming a vessel of pure, silent light. The world outside is moving, but you are the stillness at the center of the wheel. The stars are turning in their infinite orbits, but you are the dark space that holds them. You are merging now with the cosmic tide. The rhythm of the universe is the rhythm of your heart. There is a deep, profound safety in this merging. You are not lost. You are home. You are the silence between the notes of a song. You are the emptiness inside the bowl that makes it useful. You are the peace that passes all understanding. Let the darkness be a warm blanket. Let the silence be a gentle lullaby. You are no longer a person trying to sleep. You are sleep itself, unfolding in the heart of the night. You are the breath of the cosmos, slow and deep and eternal. As you drift further, the concept of I begins to fade. There is no thinker of the thoughts, only the thoughts passing like clouds. There is no feeler of the sensations, only the sensations humming like a distant beehive. You are dissolving into the great mystery. The night is vast, and you are part of its texture. The same energy that keeps the planets in their tracks is the energy that flows through your veins. You do not need to hold yourself together anymore. You can let go. You can break apart into 1,000 stars and find that you are still whole. The search is over. The striving has ended. You have returned to the source where there is no name, no form, and no effort. Just the breath, just the tide, just the infinite, healing dark. Imagine a mountain path that leads to nowhere but the present moment. Each stone beneath your feet is cool and smooth, worn down by centuries of pilgrims who sought exactly what you are finding now: silence. The silence here is not the absence of sound, but the presence of a deep, resonant peace. It is the sound of the earth breathing. As you walk, the mist begins to rise from the valley floor, wrapping around your ankles like a soft white silk. This mist is the uncertainty of life, yet it does not frighten you. It is gentle, it is light. It reminds you that you do not need to see the entire path to take the next step. You only need to be here, in the soft grey light of the becoming. The ancient masters spoke of a state called Mushin, the mind of no mind. It is like a mirror that reflects everything, but clings to nothing. When a beautiful flower passes before it, the mirror shows the flower in all its glory. When the flower is gone, the mirror is empty again, ready for the next reflection. It does not mourn the loss of the flower. It does not hope for the arrival of a bird. It is simply clear. It is simply there. You are invited to become that mirror tonight. Let your memories of the day pass by. Let your plans for tomorrow drift away. They are only reflections. They do not define the glass. They do not change the clarity of your soul. Think of a great cedar tree standing in the center of a storm. The branches may sway and the leaves may rustle, but the roots go deep into the dark, silent earth. The tree does not try to stop the wind. It does not argue with the rain. It yields where it must, and it stands firm where it is anchored. You are that tree. Your roots are buried in the profound silence of existence. No matter how the winds of thought may blow, your center remains unmoved. Feel that weight in your limbs now. Feel the gravity pulling you down, grounding you, holding you safe in the cradle of the world. There is a profound joy in the realization that you are not the driver of this life, but the passenger. The river knows where it is going. The stars know their positions. The seasons know when to change. You can stop trying to direct the flow. You can stop trying to fix the universe. It was never broken. It is a perfect dance of shadow and light, and you are a vital part of the choreography. When you stop resisting, you find that the universe supports you in ways you never imagined. It carries you when you are tired. It heals you when you are broken. It breathes you when you forget how to breathe. As you lie here, the boundaries of your body begin to soften. The edge of your skin and the edge of the air are no longer two separate things. You are merging with the atmosphere. You are becoming the coolness of the room. You are becoming the softness of the pillow. This is the great return. This is the homecoming that every soul longs for. There is no more distance between you and the divine. There is no more wall between you and the truth. Everything is one. Everything is now. In the distance, a temple bell rings once. The sound travels across the valley, growing thinner and thinner until it becomes a part of the silence itself. Let your consciousness follow that sound. Let it stretch out, becoming thinner and more transparent until you are nothing but a vibration of peace. The world is sleeping. The trees are sleeping. The stones are sleeping. And now it is your turn to join them in the great restorative quiet. There is nothing left to do. There is nothing left to know. There is only the falling into the soft, dark arms of the infinite. The light of the moon spills across the floor, a silver path that leads into the world of dreams. You do not need to walk down it. You only need to close your eyes and let the silver light carry you. The journey is effortless. The destination is rest. Deep, dreamless, perfect rest. You are safe. You are loved. You are home. Consider the lotus flower, which grows in the mud but remains unstained by the silt. It does not struggle against the murky water. It uses the nutrients of the dark to reach for the light. Your life, with all its complications and its shadows, is the mud that allows your wisdom to bloom. Do not despise the darkness. Do not fear the depth of the water. It is the very source of your growth. Without the night, the stars could never be seen. Without the silence, the song could never be heard. You are now entering the chamber of deep stillness. Here, time has no meaning. The past is a ghost that has vanished into the mist. The future is a dream that has not yet been dreamt. There is only the steady, rhythmic pulse of your heart, beating in harmony with the rotation of the earth. You are held. You are supported. You are free. Let the heavy blankets of sleep fold over you, layer by layer, until you are completely submerged in the healing waters of the night. The journey of the day is over. The work of the mind is finished. The heart is at peace. The soul is at rest. Sink deeper now, deeper into the velvet dark, deeper into the embrace of the eternal. Sleep, just sleep. All is well. All is as it should be. You are the stillness. You are the night. You are the peace. As you drift further into this vast ocean of quiet, imagine the weight of your body becoming like a single drop of ink falling into a clear mountain pool. At first, there is a shape, a boundary, a definition of who you are. But slowly, the edges begin to soften. The ink spreads, thinning out, blending with the cool, transparent water, until there is no longer a drop and a pool, but only one unified state of being. This is the art of letting go. You are not losing yourself, you are returning to the source. The day may have been filled with many colors and many sounds, but now the canvas is being washed clean. Every worry that felt like a heavy stone is now turning into a handful of dry sand, slipping through your fingers and scattering into the wind. Listen to the silence between my words. That silence is your true home. It is the space where the stars reside and where the moon finds its path across the sky. In the temple of your heart, the candles have been extinguished one by one. There is no more need for light, for your inner eye sees the beauty of the darkness. This darkness is not a void of nothingness, but a womb of infinite potential. It is the fertile soil where the seeds of tomorrow's wisdom are currently resting. You do not need to plan for the dawn. The sun knows its way without your help. The flowers know when to open without your command. Trust in this natural rhythm. Trust in the deep intelligence that breathes your lungs and beats your heart while you rest. Your breath is now a slow, rhythmic tide. With every exhale, you release the last remnants of the world. You release the names of people, the lists of tasks, the memories of yesterday, and the shadows of tomorrow. There is only this breath, this one holy moment. And then, there is the space after the breath, a pause of pure existence. In that pause, you are infinite. You are as wide as the valley, and as high as the peaks of the Himalayas. The cold air of the night touches your skin like a silk veil, reminding you that you are part of the elements. You are the earth that grounds, the water that flows, the fire that warms, and the air that carries the scent of pine and jasmine. The great masters tell us that sleep is a small death, and every awakening is a rebirth. Allow yourself to die to this day completely. Leave nothing behind. No regrets, no lingering questions, no unfinished conversations. Let them all dissolve into the silver mist that clings to the riverbank. You are a weary traveler who has finally reached the sanctuary of a hidden mountain inn at the end of a long and winding road. The hearth fire is warm, the cedar walls are fragrant, the bed is soft, and the heavy door is locked against the cold mountain wind. You are safe. You are protected by the ancient, silent wisdom that has guided seekers for thousands of years. The universe does not ask anything more of you tonight. It only asks that you rest. Feel the darkness as a gentle hand stroking your brow, smoothing away the lines of concentration and the tension of the jaw. Your shoulders are heavy, sinking deep into the earth. Your legs are still, like fallen cedar trees in a silent, ancient forest. Even the thoughts that flutter like tired moths around a lamp are finally finding their place of rest. The lamp is dimmed, the wick is short, the light fades into a soft, golden glow, and then it is gone. There is only the velvet peace of the night. You are floating on a raft made of moonlight, drifting down a river of stars that has no end and no beginning. The water is calm. The stars are your silent companions. You are drifting. You are sinking. You are becoming the very essence of peace, sleep. Everything is still. Welcome, weary traveler of the mind. Close your eyes and let the weight of the world slide off your shoulders like a heavy silk robe falling to the floor. You have walked a long path today, carrying the heavy burden of being someone. You have carried your name, your history, your successes, and your failures like stones in a pack. But here, in this sacred space of transition, the path ends and the great ocean begins. There is no need for a name when you are standing before the infinite. There is no need for a story when the silence is this profound. Take a deep, slow breath. Feel the air enter your body, not as a guest, but as a long-lost friend returning home. As you exhale, let go of the person you think you are. For this moment, you are not a worker, a parent, a child, or a seeker. You are simply the breath. You are the heartbeat. You are the stillness that exists between the stars. Imagine yourself sitting in a small wooden pavilion at the edge of a mirror-like lake. The night is deep, and the air is filled with the scent of damp moss and ancient cedar. The moon is a silver sliver hanging in the velvet sky, and its reflection on the water is so still that you cannot tell where the sky ends and the earth begins. In this place, there is no one to impress. There is no one to please. There is no one to judge. We spend our entire lives building a house called the self. We paint the walls with our achievements, and we hang our memories like pictures in the hallway. We guard the doors, and we worry about who is looking through the windows. But tonight, I invite you to step outside that house. Walk away from the structure of your identity. Feel the cool grass beneath your feet. The grass does not care what your name is. The wind does not ask for your credentials. The trees do not wonder if you have done enough today. They simply accept your presence as part of the forest. When you stop trying to be someone, a strange and beautiful thing happens. The tension in your forehead begins to dissolve. The tight grip you hold on your own life starts to loosen. We often think that if we stop trying, we will disappear. We fear that if we let go of our roles, we will become nothing. But in the wisdom of the Zen masters, this nothingness is not a void. It is a fullness. It is the state of the uncarved block. Before a statue is a hero or a deity, it is a simple piece of stone. It contains all possibilities because it has not yet been limited by a single form. Tonight, you are returning to that state of the uncarved block. You are returning to the source. You are the mountain before the wind shaped it. You are the river before it was given a name. Listen to the sound of the distant temple bell. Its vibration ripples through the cool night air, growing fainter and fainter until it merges with the silence. Your thoughts are like that bell. They arise, they resonate, and then they fade. Do not chase them. Do not try to stop them. Simply watch them dissolve into the vastness of your awareness. Who is the one watching the thoughts? The one who watches is not the one who thinks. The watcher is like the sky, and the thoughts are merely clouds passing through. The sky does not try to hold on to the clouds. It does not get angry when the storm comes, and it does not feel proud when the sun shines. The sky is always there, vast, open, and undisturbed. You are that sky. Beneath the layers of your personality, beneath the noise of your desires and fears, there is an infinite space of tranquility that has never been touched by the world. As you lie there, feel the bed beneath you. It is supporting you completely. You do not have to hold yourself up. You do not have to exert any effort to exist. Gravity is a gentle hand, pulling you toward the heart of the earth. Let your muscles surrender to this pull. Start with your toes and your feet. They have carried you through the day, stepping through the complexities of your life. Now, let them rest. Feel the relaxation spread up through your legs, softening the knees, releasing the tension in the thighs. Your hips sink deeper into the mattress. Your spine, the pillar of your being, begins to settle. Each vertebra creates a little more space, a little more ease. The breath flows into your belly like a soft wave washing over the sand. It comes and it goes, effortless and rhythmic. There is nothing you need to do to make it happen. Life is living you. Now, bring your attention to your hands. These hands have reached for so many things today. They have grasped, they have worked, they have held on tight. Let them open now. Let the palms be soft and empty. When the hand is open, it can hold the entire universe. When it is closed into a fist, it holds nothing but itself. Release the tension in your shoulders, the place where we carry the weight of our responsibilities. Let them drop. Let them melt. Your neck and your jaw become loose. The tongue rests gently in the mouth. The tiny muscles around your eyes, which have been searching and scanning all day, finally let go. Your forehead becomes as smooth as a still pond. Who are you in this moment of total surrender? You are the silence. You are the peace that passes all understanding. You are the deep, dark soil from which all life springs. You are not the flower that blooms and withers. You are the earth that remains. You are not the wave that crashes on the shore. You are the depth of the ocean that is always still, even when the surface is rough. As you drift closer to the edge of sleep, realize that you are not falling into a void. You are falling into yourself. You are returning to the home you never truly left. The masks have been laid aside. The stories have been told. The actor has left the stage, and only the empty theatre remains, filled with the soft glow of the moonlight. In this stillness, there is no past to regret and no future to fear. There is only this breath, this heartbeat, this profound sense of being. You have stopped trying to be someone, and in doing so, you have become everything. You are the rustle of the leaves in the courtyard. You are the cool mist rising from the valley. You are the ancient starlight traveling through the dark. Sleep is not an end, but a total surrender into the infinite stillness. It is the ultimate act of trust. You are trusting the universe to hold you while you let go of the controls. You are trusting the night to keep you safe while you disappear. Rest now, in the heart of the mystery. The world will be there when you wake, but for now, there is only the beautiful, nameless peace of the great silence. You are home. You are free. You are. As you settle deeper into this profound stillness, let the rhythm of your breath become the only clock you follow. There is no urgency in the way the moon climbs the sky. There should be no urgency in your spirit. You are stepping across the threshold of the known world into the vast, gentle embrace of the evening. This is the space where the mind stops its endless weaving and the heart begins to listen to the song of the stars. Your body is heavy, grounded by the quiet gravity of peace, while your awareness remains as light as a single incense smoke trail rising in a windless room. You are transitioning from the world of doing into the sacred realm of being. Every inhale is a gift of presence. and every exhale is a quiet farewell to the day that has passed. You are here. You are safe. You are ready to drift into the deep, dark blue of the eternal now. In the ancient tradition, there is a story of a traveler who sought to cross a great, mist-covered lake in a small wooden boat. The air was thick with fog, and the water was as smooth as polished jade. As the traveler paddled slowly, he saw another boat emerging from the mist, heading directly toward him. He shouted for the other person to steer away, but the boat kept coming. He grew angry, cursing the incompetence of the other rower, feeling his chest tighten with indignation and fear. But as the boats collided with a soft thud, the traveler realized that the other boat was empty. There was no one to blame, no one to fight, and no one to be angry at. In that moment of realization, his anger vanished like smoke in the wind. His heart became as empty and as peaceful as that drifting vessel. Your life is often like that lake, and your thoughts are like those boats emerging from the fog. You may feel the phantom weight of responsibilities, the echoes of conversations, or the pressure of tomorrow's tasks drifting toward you. But in this sacred space of rest, you must realize that these boats are empty. They have no power over you unless you choose to climb inside them. Tonight, let your own boat be empty. Release the oars of your will. Let the current of the universe take you where it may. When there is no one in the boat, there is no one to suffer, no one to worry, and no one to stay awake. There is only the movement of the water and the silence of the mist. You are the lake, the boat, and the mist all at once. Listen to the sound of the silence that exists beneath the noise of the world. It is a deep, resonant hum, the vibration of existence itself. It is the sound of the earth breathing as it turns. Imagine you are lying on a bed of soft green moss at the edge of an ancient forest. The air smells of damp cedar, wild ferns, and the sweet, cold scent of fallen rain. Above you, the canopy of trees creates a cathedral of shadows, and through the gaps in the leaves, you see the silver light of a distant galaxy. This forest has stood for 1,000 years, and it will stand for 1,000 more. It does not hurry to grow. It does not worry about the changing seasons. It simply accepts the sun, the rain, and the darkness of the night. You are a part of this natural order. You are as much a part of the universe as the trees and the stars. Allow your awareness to move through your body like a slow, golden river of light. Feel it softening the muscles of your face, smoothing the brow where the day's tensions once lived. Let that light flow down into your shoulders, melting away the invisible burdens you have carried. Feel your chest expand and contract with the effortless grace of a tide. Your heart beats in harmony with the pulse of the earth. Down through your arms, into the tips of your fingers, the warmth of relaxation spreads. Your legs grow heavy, sinking into the soft earth of your bed, releasing all the miles they have walked. You are becoming weightless in your heaviness, a paradox of peace. In the philosophy of the void, we learn that emptiness is not a lack of something, but a fullness of possibility. When a cup is empty, it can be filled with tea. When a room is empty, it can hold people. When your mind is empty of the self, it can be filled with the entire universe. Sleep is the ultimate practice of this holy emptiness. As you drift closer to the edge of dreams, you are shedding the layers of who you think you are. You are shedding your name, your history, your plans, and your fears. You are returning to the source, to the uncarved block, to the state of pure potential. There is nothing you need to achieve tonight. There is no destination you need to reach. The journey is the stillness itself. Imagine a single leaf falling from a branch in the autumn air. It does not struggle against the wind. It does not fear the ground. It dances, it turns, it surrenders to the pull of the earth with a quiet, swaying grace. It knows that to fall is simply another way of returning home. You are that leaf. The day is the branch, and the night is the soft, waiting earth. Let yourself fall. Let the wind of your breath carry you down into the shadows of the forest floor. There is no impact, only a soft landing in the cradle of the infinite. The great silence is calling to you now, not as a void to be feared, but as a mother calling a child home. It is a silence that understands everything and judges nothing. In this silence, all your mistakes are forgiven and all your achievements are set aside. You are enough, exactly as you are, in this moment of total stillness. The stars continue their silent dance across the heavens, and the deep currents of the ocean move in their timeless patterns. You are held by these same forces. You are safe in the hands of the mystery. As the light of your conscious mind begins to dim, like a candle flickering out in a quiet room, do not reach for the match. Let the darkness be your blanket. Let the quiet be your song. The world will continue its turning without your effort. The sun will find its way back to the horizon when the time is right. But for now, your only task is to disappear into the velvet folds of the night. You are the starlight. You are the empty boat. You are the falling leaf. You are the great, beautiful silence. Rest now. Sink down. Let go. Everything is exactly as it should be. You are home. You are peace. You are. The final echo of the temple bell fades into the mist of the valley. It does not leave a void, but rather a space filled with the presence of absolute stillness. You are drifting now upon a river that has no beginning and no end. The water is cool and clear, carrying you effortlessly toward the vast ocean of deep sleep. There is no resistance in your limbs. There is no weight in your heart. You have laid down the heavy bundles of the day at the edge of the ancient forest. The path behind you is covered in soft pine needles and silver moonlight. Every word spoken today has dissolved into the air like thin incense smoke. Every thought has settled like fine dust on a polished mirror. Feel the gentle rhythm of your breath as it flows like a tide against a silent shore. It is the breath of the universe moving through you. You do not need to hold on to the shore. You do not need to guide the current. The stars above are watching over your rest with a kindness that spans across eternity. The darkness is not a wall, but an invitation to expand. Your body becomes light, almost translucent, as if you were made of the same silver light that touches the peaks of the high mountains. The fragrance of night-blooming jasmine drifts through the open window of your mind, bringing with it the promise of total restoration and quietude. The boundaries between the self and the cosmos are blurring into a single, beautiful harmony. You are the stillness between two notes of music. You are the pause between the waves. In this sacred space, there is no time. There is only the eternal now, wrapped in the softest silk of dreams. Let the gravity of peace pull you deeper into the earth. Let the silence become your heartbeat. The journey of the day is finished. The wisdom of the night has begun. Close your eyes and see the light that remains when all other lights are extinguished. Sleep is the ultimate meditation. Sleep is the return to the source. Peace now.